Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, the Drake. Jack Johnson hanging out with us today. We'll talk with Matt Derrick coming up an hour from now. Special conversation coming up at noon with Thunder Gong coming to town in November. So we'll talk with the fine folks from Zarda and Thunder Gong. And we will hang out with Mick Schaefer today as well, KSHB 41 sports director. So we got that going for us as well. 913-912-4810 is the text line to join us to be a part of the show. 913-912-4810 is the text line. You guys watch football last night? You watch any football? There was no baseball on for the Royals. I mean, I guess there was a couple games across the league, but watch any football, Sterling?
No, I just checked out some highlights. I just don't care about preseason when it's not the Chiefs. I don't care seeing the backups for the Eagles. I'm sorry. I don't give a hoot watching Tanner McGee. Not going to move the needle for me. I guess it was interesting seeing, the Bengals and the starters and Jamar Chase catching a touchdown. And, well, that's obviously the big storyline is, are the Bengals going to start off a little quicker this time around to start this season? Anthony Richardson on him.
His pinky was pointing at the guy that tackled him while his hand was pointing straight ahead. That was odd.
I feel bad for him, man. Like, I do. Yeah. But that's, as we heard from many a quarterback, many a player, that's day one install.
Yeah, that was on him.
That's on you. When you shift the O-line to the left, there's going to be a free blitzer. You got to understand you throw into the pressure.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done. I'm sitting here on a microphone saying,
year two, though.
Throw into the blitzer.
Easier said than done. It's year two.
But how do you not look and
year
see
three?
that? It might be year three.
Year three. Yeah, it's year three because he was drafted when the draft was in town.
Yeah.
He was drafted when the draft was in Kansas City because I was watching the draft with Tommy Townsend.
Yeah.
Who was standing behind me just in the crowd and wearing his NFLPA hoodie.
And so I guess for me, it's one of those situations where I was Richardson. I get the pick originally, but it just feels bad. And when your quarterback battles between that guy and Daniel Jones, you really don't have a quarterback.
That's who the pinky was pointing at, actually, is like, put that guy in.
I feel bad for Colts fans, man. They wish they could go back to Carson Wentz at this point.
Yeah, probably. Jack, no baseball last night. Did you catch any football?
Unfortunately not.
It doesn't have to be unfortunately.
Yeah. It's tough to get excited about any. The NFL does a great job of trying to promote it. Football's back, and I always see that tweet of this is the last week we don't have football until February something.
That was last week when we had the Hall of Fame game. It was like, all right, we're done with no football until the Super Bowl's over.
This is not football. This is, in my opinion, you need one preseason game, and I also hate it in spring training when you have 35 of them. You don't need 35.
Yeah.
You need these players need one game to tune up. And for baseball, you need like a week of spring training games.
It's so interesting because the NFL is this juggernaut that I'll probably watch as many minutes, and I don't go down to spring training and cover it like you do, Jack, so it's a little bit different when you're there watching. You can watch some actual games that are taking place. I'll probably watch as many spring training games, pitches, innings, minutes as I'll probably watch the first two drives of Chiefs football tomorrow. Like, after the first two drives tomorrow, it will be that I've watched more preseason football than I watched any spring training games in baseball. Yet it's sort of the same thing. It's just that if there were only three spring training games, I think we would watch them a little bit closer. I think we would pay more attention and say, what are we seeing here? What's this guy look like? But there's so many spring training games that it all just jumbles together, and you're like, all right, this pitcher is going to the mound for his 7th time in spring training. The previous time, was he just working on a curveball? Was he just working on a slider? Like, Patrick Mahomes isn't just going to be working on a sidearm throw in the game tomorrow in his one drive. Like, well, Mahomes threw an interception. Yeah, but he was only working on sidearm. It's like he was only working on back step throws.
Yeah,
he was only working on
only. It was weird.
Right. He was only working on ducking under and then throwing. He was working on specific things. You don't really say, oh, well, Josh Simmons got beat. Yeah, but he was working on his right punch. And the guy beat him to his left side, but that doesn't matter because he's only working on his right punch on this particular rep. Like, we don't see that. So it's closer to closer. I'm using air quotes here. Closer to the actual football we'll be watching in the regular season than I think some early spring training games are to what we'll be watching in baseball because, again, guys are working on specific things because there's so much – I'm not saying football is not a skilled sport, but there's so many different fine point skills in baseball that you build up to.
Yeah.
Where football, yes, you've got to have the skill and everything, but a lot of that is done in practice. A lot of that is done along the way because you can simulate closer in practice than you can in spring training practices. Like Vinny can be out there taking ground balls all day at first, but you know the ball's coming to you.
Yeah.
That's what we try to teach like our 9 and 10-year-olds. It's like you have to expect every pitch to come your way because it's like, well, we field so well when we're practicing infield. Yeah, because when we hit it to the kid, he knows it's coming to him. He's ready. He's pre-pitching. He's got his steps down. Boom, field, pull the string, throw it. In a game, it's like, oh, hey, look, there's over there. Oh, they got popcorn. Hit. Oh, my God. 1, my first instinct, I'm surprised it's coming to me. 2nd, now I've got to go through what I'm supposed to go through. And baseball, like Vinny, the double play he turned the other day, Rex, great stuff. Him talking about every day. Vinny's out working on that every day, every day, every day. For the one time it happened in a month.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so crazy about that part of it versus us watching some NFL preseason games.
I know how to help your kids. And this goes back to Todd Haley training camp.
Scream at him.
Well, scream at them. Well, that just goes without saying. Scream at the kids.
Right.
Negative reinforcement is key.
Honestly.
Put them in a porta potty.
Hey, Charles, why don't you get a hit this time? You don't want to be bad at sports and school, buddy.
Put them in a porta potty.
Okay.
You hit the ball,
right.
and then you just open it the last minute, and they have to try and field
good call. That's a good call. Only they know the ball's coming to them because the guy yells to open the porta potty door, which I still don't understand that drill. If you're going to yell now and the door opens, the guy in the porta potty hears you yell now.
Yeah.
So he's expecting the ball.
Well, and your 9-year-olds might lose some chiclets in this regard to get it about bounce, but that's what
it takes.
Do they want it or not?
You want to be state champs or not? You know, what are you going to do?
Do you want to be like Todd Haley or not?
That's the great question. He made a lot of money as a coach in the NFL. The guy made it to the highest level. The guy was an NFL head coach. There's a lot of people that would have loved to have been Todd Haley. Todd Haley, I made it to the highest level. I don't see you over here coaching like I was.
Is that Matthew McConaughey?
No, it's Todd Haley.
Sounds more like Bill Clinton.
I think.
Yeah, it sounds like it went from McConaughey to Bill Clinton.
It's a Clinton McConaughey
hybrid
to get Todd Haley.
I like it.
So, I actually think that Colby Smith is a little bit better than Jamal Charles. We're going to play Colby today.
Thomas Jones, you're getting all the carries. Jamal, I know you're running for 7 yards a carry. Sorry, you can't do that. It's too good. We want to go for 3.
He's still going to be our third down back, though. All right, cool. We'll see how that works out. Colby Smith, I'm pumped, excited. What's he going to do? So there's a couple of takeaways that I had. It's so early, obviously, and we'll get into some Chiefs and things I want to see tomorrow. We'll talk about that, things that we're looking for tomorrow. I want to relate the Rashawn Slater injury to the Chiefs and actually compare it to a complaint that some Chiefs fans have had. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we'll get into this Royals 9-game stretch and how crucial it is, and we'll talk a little Royals this hour as well. Again, Matt Derrick coming up at 11 o'clock. You talked about Anthony Richardson there. Yeah, absolutely. Almost everybody on Twitter X pointing out, that's on Anthony Richardson. Offensive lineman, yep, that's on Anthony Richardson. This is the closest, most dangerous defender. That's why the tackle slid down to get him. The running back is not taking the blitzer. The running back's immediate job is to get open, is to turn and face so he can dump it off to him because there's nobody in the area. His hot route on the right, hot route. I don't know what that is. Just go stand over there. His hot read, tight end, 5 yards down the field, standing there wide open, nobody near him. The only problem is Anthony Richardson was staring left. So we talked a little bit about that. That's on him. It's unfortunate that he gets injured and knocked out of the game, but it's also on him. The Bengals conversation, I think, is interesting because one of the questions that people had, and this is a team that finished like gangbusters last year, right? They started off so terrible, and then they missed the playoffs by 1 game. And they're like, the Chiefs sat their starters because they're scared of the Bengals. They lost on purpose so the Bengals couldn't make the playoffs. They're scared. And Zach Taylor, we're not going to have the same start that we've had in past years. We're going to play our starters. They're going to be out there for 2 possessions. We're going to get these guys reps. Joe Burrow had 2 more passing attempts yesterday in that game than he has had in his entire preseason career combined. He combined for 8 passes preseason in his entire career until last night. He threw the ball 10 times. Clearly a different approach, okay? But the issue last year was not Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in the offense. The issue was how bad that defense was. The issue was the Bengals losing games in which they scored 40 points.
Yeah.
That was the issue. And what did the Bengals do in the offseason when they when the season was over, 1-2-3 Cancun, they didn't make the playoffs. The biggest question was, how do you fix that secondary? Good God, it's one of the worst secondaries in the league. Trey Hendrickson's contract, certainly part of it. Are you going to go and get a new defensive coordinator? They did. Lou Anarumo fired. Al Golden in. You know what? The secondary, we think, with coaching here or there. So Chiefs had to fix the offensive line. They went out and made moves to do that, right? First-round draft pick, Jalen Moore, free agent, traded Joe Thuney, but some other moves and things like that, try to fix that left side of the offensive line. So the Bengals, fixing the secondary, went out and drafted, nobody in the secondary. But they did go out. The one thing that they did do was in free agency, sign nobody to fix the secondary. They literally, as a free agent, brought in nobody that wasn't already on the team. They re-signed one guy in their secondary that was already on the team last year, and they drafted nobody in the secondary. And Tanner McKee went 5 of 6 for 73 yards and a touchdown against the secondary. The Eagles' backup offensive line, backup skill position players, backup quarterback put 122 yards of offense in 2 possessions against the Bengals starters on defense.
Well, at least they have.
They might be the worst defense in the NFL. I know it's 2 possessions. I get it. It's preseason. Well, they didn't game plan. Yeah, I bet Nick Sirianni's out there studying up on Bengals defense and game planning for the Eagles' rookie offensive linemen, 2 of them in there. Tanner McKee, Will Shipley at running back against the Bengals starting unit, sans Trey Hendrickson. I will mention that. Sans Trey Hendrickson. But again, Tanner McKee, 5 of 6, 73 yards, also had the tush-push touchdown, rushing touchdown, 122 yards and 2 possessions. They were one of the worst secondaries in the NFL last year, and they addressed it And they said Al Golden's going to make the difference. We're going to fire Lou Anarumo, bring in Al Golden, and that's going to be the difference. This is what happens. This is what when we juxtapose the 2 organizations. The Chiefs' offensive line after the Buccaneers was terrible. So they revamped all 5 new starters. 5 new starters the next year after that Bucs. From 2020 to 2021, they had 5 new offensive linemen. They revamped the whole thing. And they win 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls. Right? They lose in the AFC Championship game, then they win the next 2 Super Bowls. Wide receiver, an issue. Okay, well, then you go out and revamp wide receiver. You have Rashee Rice, you sign Hollywood, you go and draft Xavier Worthy. Injuries derailed that, but you addressed it. All right, you tried to go out and address it. Left side of the offensive line was bad. You sign a free agent to $30 million over 2 years, and you draft a first-round tackle. And now you've got what could be a $15 million swing tackle. Because you were so bad on offensive line, you're saying never again. Not going to happen. We're going to have depth there as well. Where the Bengals go into the offseason and say, our defense is crap. The defense is the reason we lost. Secondary is maybe the worst in the league. Joe Burrow is putting up crazy numbers, and other quarterbacks are putting up Joe Burrow numbers. Like every game, there's 2 Joe Burrows on the field. It's just the opposing quarterback is named something different, but the numbers look Joe Burrow-esque. And they went into the offseason and said, we're not going to sign Trey Hendrickson. We're going to draft Shamar Stewart and get in an issue with him. We're going to fire Lou Anarumo, bring in Al Golden, and not address our secondary at all. I don't care that they didn't game plan last night. The question about the Bengals was how bad their defense was going to be again this year, and there is nothing in 2 possessions. They would have been better off playing their backups because it wouldn't be this like, oh, my God, this looks bad.
This is what the Chiefs could have looked like if they would have paid Tyreek Hill, if they would have gone all in with wide receivers. It is, do you want your quarterback to have the best stats in the NFL, or do you want to win?
Yeah.
Brett Veach and the Chiefs said, and Mahomes, I'm sure, is in these conversations as well, they want to win.
He signed his contract and texted Chris Jones and said, get it done. The 10-year deal. When Mahomes signed the big 10-year deal and left money on the table, the $500 million, $500 million, the joke that Chris Jones said, he called Chris Jones and said, got the contract done. Your turn. Get it done. Defense. We need to win championships.
This is why I've said time and time again, and some people have disagreed. They keep saying, you got to get Mahomes weapons. You got to get Mahomes weapons. I don't disagree with the thought process, but where are they spending money? It's not on Tyreek. It's not overpaying for wide receivers. It's not paying two of them, that's for sure, with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You're paying Nick Bolton. You're paying Chris Jones. You're bringing in Drew Tranquill. You have the depth on the defense. You bring in Christian Fulton. You bring in Justin Reed. You brought in Tyrann Mathieu. What the Chiefs are doing is they are trying to make a balanced team because you know why? Patrick can elevate wide receivers. You know what he can't elevate? The damn defense.
That's right. Exactly.
Joe Burrow's damn good. Jamar Chase is amazing. T. Higgins is great. But he can elevate Yosavash. You know who he can't elevate? The horrendous defense.
DJ Turner.
DJ Turner. And so I've gone on this for so long, and it's a hill I've died on, and I know I've gone back and forth with not mortally wounded, but wounded on the hill.
I get it.
I've gone back and forth with some Chiefs fans about, they got to get more wide receivers here for Patrick. I go, there's a salary cap. Not every position is going to be full of all pros. It just can't happen. Focus on the offensive line and focus on the defense. You trust Mahomes to elevate the other guys. That's why I'm okay not paying for a high-priced running back. That's why I'm okay not paying for a ton of high-priced wide receivers. The Chiefs have done a good job drafting with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. That is the method I would go with in the draft with wide receivers on rookie contracts, a great deal. But it just keeps going back to the same conversation. If Joe Burrow is that good, if you're the Bengals, why are you paying T. Higgins that much money when it could have been used on the defense?
And this is where, I know people will look at it and go, well, Patrick Mahomes signed his contract and then said to Chris Jones, hey, get it done. I just signed my contract. I'm thinking of the old team, of the entire team. And it's like, well, yep, Joe Burrow's doing the same thing. He's saying they got to sign Trey Hendrickson. He's saying they got to sign T. Higgins. They have to sign Jamar Chase. They have to do those things, which is fine. He's out publicly saying we need to do this and spend money. We've never heard Patrick Mahomes say, last year at camp, well, they got to sign Chris Jones. Or 2 years ago, at camp, when he was holding out. Well, you have to sign Chris Jones. You have to pay the money. When Tyreek Hill was going through his contract negotiation before they traded him, you didn't hear Patrick Mahomes go, well, you got to pay Tyreek Hill. You got to pay him. No, you know what Patrick Mahomes does? My front office is going to have the best interest of the entire team. And as long as I'm in the know and understand the strategy and the plan behind it, I don't have to agree with it. Maybe I'll offer my input, but I can get behind it if I understand what the strategy is. Whereas, no, pay T. Higgins, pay Jamar Chase, because I want you guys to pay. We got to pay people here. Okay, you can only pay so many people. They could have drafted a first-round cornerback. They went Shamar Stewart. Why? Because they're negotiating with Trey Hendrickson. It's just bad business. It's bad business overall. They could have done some different things, but they're paying T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and Orlando Brown and Trey Hendrickson. There are only a certain amount of guys, and you have to draft well, and they haven't necessarily done that. I think it's a little bit of a difference of, Mahomes saying, yeah, what Veach is doing, we got to build the entire team versus Joe Burrow saying, you got to pay Jamar, you got to pay T. Higgins, you got to pay Trey Hendrickson. And nothing wrong with him saying, hey, take care of our guys. We need to be an organization that takes care of our guys. I just don't know that how much you want your quarterback almost forcing the hand of a team, because now if they trade Trey Hendrickson and get draft picks back, does it look like, well, now we're an organization that's refusing to pay people, and now are you cross with your quarterback in Joe Burrow? I think last night's two possessions, it's overreaction time, and week one in the NFL is always overreaction time. But I don't know that it could have gone worse for the Bengals last night than Joe Burrow and the offense looks exactly like they did last year, and the defense looked exactly like they did last year, only it was backups. Paul Diener, Cincinnati Enquirer, said, I watched this game 10 times last year. Except the Eagles' backups were in there. It was a second-string Eagles team.
Yeah, this is a Bengals team that really didn't really do much defensively to improve upon last year. And the one secret talent they had, and it wasn't really a secret talent. It was public to everybody. It was that Lou Anarumo could stop this Chiefs defense. And
the kryptonite of Andy Reid was Lou Anarumo for some reason.
And I understand that in the NFL, it's not just about one team. But at the end of the day, you also knew that to get back to the Super Bowl, you would have to go through Kansas City. And that defense would always play its best game of the season against Kansas City. But you look over the course of an entire schedule, and you look at this offense, it absolutely is one of the top offenses in the NFL. So much talent in the receiving game. I would be not as high in the running back room. You got Chase Brown, and then you got Samaje Perine going back to Cincinnati after spending last year in Kansas City. But when you look at the likelihood of just outscoring everybody over a 17-game schedule, it's not as likely. I mean, you look at the defense-first teams. We've seen those before where, they've got the best defense in the NFL. Their offense is the middle of the pack, and they can still win 11 to 12 games. They can't win a Super Bowl because it comes down to who your quarterback is. But it's very unlikely that if you've got the number one offense in the NFL, you put up 30 points a game, but you give up 30 points a game, there's going to be a higher chance that your offense has an off day or multiple turnovers than it is your defense steps up and holds somebody under 20 points.
Joe Burrow's got one win in the postseason when the defense is allowed more than 20 points.
I just
one win. That was the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, unfortunately, in overtime.
I just do not understand. The Chiefs have laid the groundwork. They've shown against the Patriots, I believe, the early on Chiefs team with Bob Sutton, and then just early on, where they were so one-dimensional, where offense only, defense was
scored 50 points and lost.
And the fact that teams have not learned from that, teams that have great quarterbacks, I think the Bills have learned. That's why I've said I think the Bills are so much farther ahead than the Bengals, because I think their front office learned. They go, it hasn't worked in the playoffs, but I go, they've learned. They understand that they can't just focus on all the wide receivers. Look at their wide receiver room right now, and look where their offense was, and look at their defense. They were in every single game. That's why they've had more playoff success. Not really, but they've been.
They have. They go to the playoffs
every year.
The Bengals have missed playoffs 2 years in a row.
So and so for me, I just keep going back to this. I go, the Chiefs have laid the groundwork for all these teams that have great quarterbacks. Why don't they just follow? Are they strong-headed? Do they think they know more than Andy and Veach? I don't get it. Yeah. And again, go to the same point. Joe Burrow has the second highest AAV for a quarterback in the NFL. Patrick's 14th.
Yeah.
You know who the cap hit is this year? Joe Burrow's 3rd. Patrick's 14th. I know it goes up a ton next year, but
that'll be reworked.
But for the point,
he can have a $70 million cap.
It's not going to be. But that's kind of like the point I'm making is Joe Burrow says all these things, but the money shows a little different storyline, right? It is a little easier, and Patrick is getting less per year. The cap hit this year is $17 million less than Joe Burrow this year.
And they're
that's Trey Hendrickson, almost Trey Hendrickson.
Right, and that's also, when you sign a decade-long contract, it allows you to rework it every single year. How unique the contract was for Patrick Mahomes and the, quote, guaranteed mechanisms that we didn't understand. When Lee Steinberg and Patrick Mahomes' representatives talked about the guaranteed mechanisms that were included in the contract when it was announced, we're like, the hell is a guaranteed mechanism? Then we saw the contract and we went, oh, Mahomes isn't getting like $90 million guaranteed in this thing. Mahomes is getting almost the entire contract guaranteed. 2 years later's salary is fully guaranteed. 2 years before. 2025 salary is guaranteed in 2023. 2026's salary is guaranteed in 2024. This is essentially a guaranteed contract for Patrick Mahomes, only every single year they can rework the cap depending on if they need it or not. Like, this is brilliant.
By the way, we know he's not playing on that contract cap hit next year. We know it's going to be reworked.
Yeah.
He is still not the highest cap number in the NFL at 78.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson at $80.7 million.
Worst contract in the history of sports. Worst contract in the history of sports.
Ever.
Yeah, of ever. Of ever.
Of anything.
Ever.
What's
ever.
Enron. I mean, this is the Enron of contracts in the NFL. Yes.
Okay. All right. What other comparisons can we make to Deshaun Watson's contract? Enron?
It's the Enron of contracts.
Okay, great. We got that one. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. What are we watching for tomorrow? What are we looking at? Who are we looking at? Names that, each of us may be paying a little bit more attention to see what they have, what they can do. And I want to relate Rashawn Slater and what happened there to the strategy of the Chiefs in the offseason that for some reason has been criticized by some. But we'll get into the strategy behind that coming up next. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll talk with Matt Derrick coming up at 11 o'clock. So before we get into names and players we're going to watch, I want to relate, the unfortunate events that took place in almost at San Diego, in L.A. yesterday. Do they train? They should have training camp in San Diego just to rub it in. That would be awful. That would suck. But what happened in L.A. yesterday with Rashawn Slater, and it's terrible. It's awful. And I say every year, I don't care if it's Chiefs or anybody else, let's turn off injuries. I don't care if the Chiefs end up losing. I just want to see a season where nobody gets injured, and it's just your best versus their best, and that's really what it is. Okay, I want to see the Bucks Super Bowl with the Chiefs with Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz.
Yeah,
right. I want to see what that looks like, not that Bucks healthy defense and defensive line versus a motley crew of offensive linemen and guys that are playing out of position, not necessarily their fault. They were asked to do things that they weren't capable of doing.
Yeah, that motley crew, that defense got home sweet home on that.
Yeah, they did. Good call. I like that one. That's good. But Rashawn Slater in that issue yesterday. So now they have to decide, the Chargers do. They're going to move Joe Alt to the left side. We know that. That's not the decision. The decision is, do you go with one of the worst graded offensive linemen last year in Pipkins at right guard and move him to right tackle, which seems to be what the strategy may be? Mekhi Becton has played tackle. You signed him to play right guard. He's been injured since July 28th, although they have said it's not a big deal at all. We're just taking it easy with Mekhi. He's had injuries through his career. He's a veteran. No big deal. He's getting mental reps. He'll be ready for week 1 down in Brazil against the Chiefs. But he's also a guy that's played tackle. So do you move him out there? Because you had an offense with Becton and Slater and Alt, and now you've got an offense with Alt and Pipkins, but playing different positions than they were expected to play. But here's my point. One of the criticisms that Brett Veach has received this offseason is, why'd you pay Jalen Moore if you're going to draft Josh Simmons? You're going to have a $15 million per year swing tackle or a $20 million Jawan Taylor swing tackle? $15 million or $20 million is going to be your swing tackle. We thought maybe you were going to have a $15 million left tackle and a $20 million right tackle and a first round backup left tackle and a third round backup right tackle in Wanya Morris. Thought maybe that was going to be the case. But now that we see that the competition is done, it's over, it's finished at left tackle, that is Josh Simmons' job, and Jalen Moore working over on the right side and a touch at left guard, it's, wow, you paid that much money? This is why. This is why you do that. Injuries suck. It's terrible. But the Chiefs were not overcoming injury. They were overcoming inability and personnel. But it doesn't mean that injury can't be something. Last year, we watched the Royals go through and make 96 starts with their big three, Reagans, Waka, Lugo. They made 96 starts. How many have they made combined this year? Like honestly, are they at 50? 55?
45 to 50?
45 to 50, yeah, because I'm thinking like Reagan's like 11, Lugo and Waka like 20, 21 apiece. So you'd be at like 45 to 50 somewhere. Just
Waka has 23, so 23. Lugo has 21.
So there's 44.
And then Reagan's has 10.
So 54. So they've got so they're 40 starts away from what they were last year with those guys. You don't know when injuries are going to happen. So if $15 million is what it takes for one of your guys to go down and say, don't worry, it's not Wanya Morris playing here, wouldn't that be worth it?
Hell, Wanya Morris would be better than Trey Pipkins.
100%.
At least I think so.
Trade Wanya. Hell, I mean, you might be able to do that. I have no idea. But like that to me is part of why I liked the strategy from that. We've talked about this. You and I, we're all in agreement. We've all weighed in on it. We all like the strategy behind it in that you signed Jalen Moore because you didn't know if Josh Simmons was going to be there. Also, when you signed Jalen Moore, you didn't know about Josh Simmons' health.
Correct.
You hadn't gone through the next rounds of the medicals with Josh Simmons, right? They had to be convinced. This was March, right? It was 2 weeks after the Combine. And remember, people at the Combine said, a little iffy on the knee at the Combine. It was post-Combine medicals where the Chiefs were like, oh, wait, this thing looks good.
Yeah.
This thing looks really, like Rick Burkholder was like, I'm convinced that surgery was great. This thing looks like it did before. I think we're good with this guy. So Why sign Jalen Moore if you know you're going to draft Josh Simmons? They didn't know. They didn't know they were going to draft Josh Simmons. If that knee didn't respond the way that it did, Jalen Moore would be playing left tackle on this team. We'd be talking about what do we see from Jalen Moore at left tackle tomorrow against the Cardinals and not Josh Simmons. That Slater injury sucks. It's terrible. But that's why what we're talking about, when you pay this guy, that guy, if you pay Tyreek Hill and pay Chris Jones and pay Jawan Taylor and pay Patrick Mahomes and pay Karlaftis and Trent McDuffie and all these different guys, they haven't paid McDuffie yet, and Karlaftis' contract hasn't kicked in. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, paying all these guys, well, you're an injury or two away from being really subpar at a specific position. And that's what they were last year at wide receiver. That was unfortunate because it was a rash. But you could get through with wide receiver. You're not getting through with offensive line than a rash of injuries. You're not going to be able to do that. And this year, if a tackle goes down, they've got Jalen Moore. If a guard goes down, maybe they've got Jalen Moore.
Yeah.
If another guard goes down, not ideal, but Caliendo played. If a center goes down, you feel like Norzad has improved to where it would be a drop-off. There is no getting around that. But it wouldn't be, good God, disaster. That guy's in there, and he can't even snap the ball and doesn't know what he's doing and can't block anybody, and he's a sieve, and they're just putting a guy right over the center, and now you've got to double-team that guy with your guard, and now everything else is messed up. They're able to overcome that, and that's why you spend the money on the depth and do those things so that you're not an injury away. And people in L.A. had talked about, this offensive line looks really good, the starting five.
Yeah.
They're an injury away from really being concerned about it. It just happened to be to the wrong guy.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to is
the wrong guy got injured.
Rashawn Slater is such a great player. I mean, he is one of the best left tackles in football. And then you
top five left tackle in football.
I mean, you have Joe Alt, who was amazing at right tackle, and they still decided to say, hey, Rashawn, we're going to pay you the money that they paid him. I mean,
even though we took Joe Alt top 10.
We still think that we can have our bookends for a long time. A little bit like Lane Johnson and left tackle Malata for the Eagles, right?
Yeah, they didn't play last night, and I believe it was 122 yards and 2 possessions against the Bengals starting defense. Anyway, go ahead.
But so for the Chargers, I was excited to, and again, take the Chiefs fandom out of it, but like
to see it.
I was excited to see what this team was going to look like. This is one of the first years where I feel like they're not crowned, because I feel like Denver's almost moved ahead of the Chargers at this point, which I thought was a little interesting. And I go, this feels like maybe the best Chargers team that we've seen in the past decade, and somehow they're not even the ones expected to beat the Chiefs. It's the Broncos. And because I like Ladd McConkey, obviously. I love the move for them to bring back Keenan Allen. He went for, 1,200 yards 2 years ago.
That was supposed to be the big day yesterday. Keenan Allen signed a 1-year return to the Chargers, the big day celebration, and then Slater gets hurt.
And then you have Amarian Hampton, which I thought was a great draft pick considering what they did with DK Metcalf last year. You now have the power back with Najee Harris as well. Their defense is still salty. It's not going to be the best defense in the NFL, but it'll be at least be above average.
They'll have Joey Bosa playing as many games as he typically does.
So, but you have Tui Tuipulotu, you have Denzel Perryman, you have Khalil Mack, you have Tier Tart in the middle, Deshaun Hand, Derwin James is still there. I like some of the smaller moves in the back end, bringing in Benjamin St. Juste from Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
So, again, overall, I actually thought that this was one of the better Chargers teams in the past decade that's not getting enough love, and then this happens, and now I'm sitting here going,
there's something romantic about when we talk about football and remembering football of an offensive line that Jim Harbaugh was putting together that was just wanting to shove it down your throat.
Yes.
That was just going to road grade and be like, our offensive line is just going to kick your ass. There's something nice. And again, take the Chiefs out of it. That's what the Chargers were going to try to do, which was concerning to me about the interior to the defensive line for the Chiefs. But that whole thing has changed now in L.A., and I think that's why you go out of your way to make sure that you've got answers at different places if something like this happens.
Well, and you also look at not only the positional value for Rashawn Slater, it's also just how good he is. When we go across injuries in the NFL, it's like, speaking of Cincinnati, if Jamar Chase goes down, do you have anybody that can replace the production? You can make the case that T. Higgins could technically be a number one, but not as good as Jamar Chase. And that's what's got to be infuriating for the Chargers, not just giving Slater the big contract a few weeks ago, but he's one of the best tackles in the NFL. Now his replacement is someone who is playing opposite of him, And the guy that's taking his spot is getting replaced by someone who was at right guard last year.
And was terrible at right guard.
And was not good at right guard. So with the Chargers and what they were going to be built upon, you had the 1-2 punch of Najee Harris, more of the power back. You've got a Marion Hampton. And then you've also got a receiver room that, given time to Justin Herbert, they're all going to be able to get open.
Yeah.
And we saw not just with, was it Brendan Daly, or not Brendan Daly, who am I blanking on the old coach?
Oh, Bob Sutton?
No,
Joe
Brandon,
Cullen?
Chargers.
Oh, Brandon Staley.
I said Brandon Daly. That's
I was like, I think
Brandon
it's
Staley.
Chiefs.
Sorry, I knew it was a Brendan. It was a Brendan. But they would do the game
was an
plan.
A and a B.
An A, and I was like, that's not what I was
John
going for.
Daly.
John Daly. There we go. But they went for this strategy of, we're going to move the ball methodically. We're going to burn up all the clock. And then with Harbaugh, you can do that if you've got two solid tackles. Now you can't really do that because I feel that Justin Herbert was so good at getting the ball out quickly. They had a good running back room. They had good slot receivers. They still have some of that, but you're trying to replace not just one of the best players on the offensive line, one of the best players on your roster, period.
Yeah, and one of the best players at his premium position in the entire league. It's unfortunate. And again, this is the time of year where you don't want to see the red breaking news and going to your training camp. Just anything but your training camp. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll throw out some names that we'll be watching and paying close attention to tomorrow. We'll do that on the other side of the break. More Zone next. Hey, man, if you're out there and you happen to be suffering from erectile dysfunction, well, then there is a spot for you. Heartland Men's Health is letting you know that they can help. They are successfully treating men in the Kansas City area, and they have been doing it for a while. It is their job. It's their life. It's their passion. It's their entire sole focus is men's health. And erectile dysfunction is something that can cause major problems in the relationship and in and around your life just in general. Maybe you've tried the pills or the herbals, and if those are not working anymore, well, Heartland Men's Health treatments work when that happens. There is no need to wait at all. Some men wait months, even years, to figure out what's going on. And Heartland Men's Health telling men, you know what, maybe the most difficult thing is just simply scheduling a consult, just simply saying, you know what, enough, let's figure this thing out. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99, and that includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T, and that PSA test we talk about all the time. And if medically advised, you get a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. If it does, there you go. They've got an expert staff with 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and also North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. All right, so the Chiefs play the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow. In case you didn't know, they do. 2.5-point favorites. I'll take the Chiefs minus the points. I'm not taking the Chiefs minus the points.
I don't know. They're on the road.
Under.
They're on the road.
Yeah, I'll take the yes. Let's throw some names out. Who we watching? Who we looking for? Sterling, we'll start with you.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. Well, then we can start with you, Jack, or we'll start with me. Drake?
Yeah, I
Keystone the intern. You want to go?
I don't know. I guess for me, the run game, if
Okay.
anyone steps up, whether it's Elijah Mitchell, what does Pacheco look like as far as him being back?
I like that.
Rashard
Not one I had written down, so I like that.
Rashard Smith. I guess we can go around. I don't want to take them all, obviously.
No, but I appreciate it because I didn't have it written down. That's good.
I think my first one's going to be the running back room and to see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
I feel we got to see if this Tyquan Thornton thing is somewhat for real.
Yeah.
He's become the training camp darling in the same way Justin Ross was, in the same way Sky Moore was, and same way Pacheco was. Pacheco ended up being actually really good that year. But I would like to see him out there for more than just one or two series, which I imagine we will see him for a larger chunk. I'll also throw Jalen Royals in there, mainly because position players are more fun to watch in preseason.
Yeah, I combined Thornton and Royals because Rice and Hollywood won't be playing. So, which will give an opportunity for Thornton to get those first team reps. I wonder, look, it'll be one possession for the offense and Patrick Mahomes. How many plays they have on that one possession. If it's a quick 3 and out, maybe they get 2. They played 6 plays last year. They got a couple of first downs, and then that was it. If it's a quick turnover or something, they'll come out for 2. But depending on how many plays they get, I'd like to see Tyquan Thornton in the game with the starters because you're still going to have Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster, but then, okay, who's the third wide receiver now? With Rice and Hollywood, not playing. So then is that Tyquan Thornton? Is it Jalen Royals? I want to see those guys out there. Put that in. Obviously, there's the Josh Simmons. What does he look like? But we focus so much on Josh Simmons. I might be, certainly everybody's going to be watching that. Like, we're going to be studying, like, eyes glued, what does Josh Simmons look like? But also the man, too, is right. Because we're also talking about, at least Josh Simmons has played left tackle in his career.
Yeah.
Kingsley Suamati has played left guard a game in his post-high school career. Probably high school career, too. High school, college, NFL, he's played a game at left guard. Like, Jalen Moore has never played a game at guard. Like, he has not taken a snap at guard for the 49ers. And he's been working at left guard as well and working at right tackle. So I'll have my eyes on Kingsley because that to me, while Kingsley's a starter, I think is closer to a competition than anything at left tackle, obviously.
Sure.
Because Jalen Moore mixing in a little bit at left guard. Those guys, certainly I'll watch that one. But there's another one that I'm going to keep an eye on the defensive side. Hearing Najee Johnson talk the other day about having to drain his knee throughout the season and it's swelling up 1 year post-surgery and sort of going through that and then saying, everybody's in the best shape of their lives. But I feel like this is a little bit different when he says, I feel better than I did before the injury. Like it's the first time I feel confident and I'm fast and my knee isn't bothering me. There's nothing going on there. I'm interested to see what he looks like because we know he has been a Spags favorite.
Yeah.
Spags has liked Najee Johnson, and for a few practices, it was like, Najee Johnson might be the starter, and then the ACL. And then last year, it's like, well, it's only 1 year removed from the ACL, so, you got to take that into account. Look at Turk Wharton in 2023, 1 year removed from the ACL. Then 2024 has a career year contract year. Awesome, great for him. Gets a big payday heading to Carolina. Great. Does Najee look like pre-injury Najee when everybody was excited about what he could be and maybe the starter opposite that would have been
Legarius, probably.
Yeah, opposite Legarius with McDuffie playing the slot. Yeah. So starting opposite Snead.
So I think that was McDuffie's rookie year.
Yeah, so McDuffie in the slot, and he was amazing. And then you got, then that was the second year for, no, that would have been because Najee was with McDuffie. Right, because it was the Fab Five. It was McDuffie, Cook, Watson, Williams.
I don't know. The Chiefs keep winning so many games. They all run together, right?
Right. They had the Fab Five of the Fab Four was the Fab Five. Fab Four. How many cornerbacks did they draft in that or secondary players?
He was drafted in 22.
Yeah. So it was McDuffie, Brian Cook, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, and Najee Johnson. So there you go. There's the five. The Fab Five that Dave Merritt called them. So it was like, okay, is Najee going to start opposite Snead with McDuffie being, an amazing slot cornerback? So I'll be watching him. That's somebody I really want to see what he looks like. If it is like last year I was dealing with the knee, and every single week, treatment, draining, go out and play, draining the knee, treatment, bothering me, feeling it on the field. Now, can I just go play, cut, move the way that I felt before the injury?
By the way, there's not many things that sound grosser than draining your knee. I don't even know how that works. I know they talk about it all the
Stick
time.
a needle in there and
I know. It just
draw out the fluid. He and Juwan Taylor were knee draining together.
I mean,
knee draining.
We have gone so far removed from how gross that is. Draining your knee. I don't know, man. It's just something you do in the NFL, and I feel like we just
smelling
gloss
salts
over.
and knee draining.
You would have to give me so many smelling salts for me to drain my knee.
But imagine how great it feels.
I bet it feels
like
amazing.
popping a pimple or something.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's one that like super sore, just hurts to walk on, and then you just know that there's a ton of fluid in there, and you just get to drain it all. That'd feel amazing.
Just take it all out.
Dude, I am too soft. I am Charmin Ultra Soft.
We know that. Yeah.
You trying to get marked?
That.
Wait,
you
don't mark that. That was nothing to mark, was it?
I think Drake was trying to play a different.
What were you trying to play there?
Maybe a correct ding, ding, ding. Maybe that, or the end of the hour music.
There we go.
It was the end of the hour music.
He's wanted to stop me from saying more incriminating things, but you can't stop me, Drake. Yeah. I am soft. Don't drain my knee. Don't touch my knees.
The Cardinals are playing their starters tomorrow. The Chiefs, we know, will play their starters at least one possession. Tomorrow's the game. I wish we would see more Josh Simmons rather than week 2. Because week 2 against the Seahawks is when they play longer. But the Seahawks have like a bottom third defensive line with Boye Mafe. Josh Simmons tomorrow is going up against Josh Sweat. 7 pressures and 3 sacks in the Super Bowl. Kind of interesting, but it might only be for 5 plays. I'd like to see a more extended look of Josh Simmons versus Josh Sweat, who dominated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, the Drake, heading up until 2 o'clock on this Friday. We'll talk with the fine folks from Zarda and Thundergong coming up yet again in the fall. Thundergong and Zarda, one of the sponsors of that, and, of course, feeding the Chiefs for, roughly 37 years. So we'll talk with the fine folks there coming up at noon.
I've not eaten in 2 days just so I can have Zarda. I've been starving myself.
Good for you.
For this moment.
That's smart. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's worth it, but because, you could have just eaten last night and still probably been the same amount of hungry, At that point, like, anything would taste good. You want to really know how good the barbecue is, and we know it is. Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the mic podcast, who's enjoyed some Zarda up at training camp this round.
I was going to say, I've already had Zarda barbecue once this week at training camp.
Because they feed the Chiefs and the media.
They do. They're kind enough to feed us as well.
Even the heathens in the media get some food.
And I've been trying to figure out, we were talking off air, I've been trying to figure out what day it was. It was Wednesday. I can finally confirm it in my head. I've managed to work out a few things to know that it was Wednesday. But I guarantee you, even though I had barbecue on the Wednesday from Zarda, I could definitely eat wings under the table against Sterling.
Oh,
if we had a wing eating contest, 100%. You're going down.
Yeah,
Good luck.
I'll take Matt Derrick in that one.
I say let's do it.
I'm like Kobayashi.
I will say Sterling is he eats food so fast.
Correct.
Yeah,
he inhales the food,
and so
it's
my
like
stomach has no idea.
That's right.
That
That's
I'm
what you gotta
full,
do.
and you just keep powering through.
He does seem like the kind of guy that has a ridiculous metabolism that just he
Oh, it's slowing down a little bit. Once it started to slow down, I was like, I should probably,
Now I weigh 165.
180 guy. Okay.
In your bra.
What? Well, it's training.
Matt Derrick is our guest. Matt, I hate to break it to you, but Harrison Butker beat you to the station today as well. So he was here at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So that
would make sense.
I feel bad for you. You can't even beat Harrison Butker to the station either, man.
Man, the guy is now the goat of arriving to practice early. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Yeah. So I can't compete.
Total aside, but have they changed the rules to where the time for practice starts when the first player walks out there on the field? Because wasn't it like something in the CBA where it was a technicality? It was like, well, technically, if you've got an hour 45 on the field, it's when the first player steps on the field, or something stupid like that.
That does sound vaguely familiar, but I think they've changed that or clarified that.
Kickers don't count.
Yeah.
Kickers don't count.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Could be that too.
Yeah.
But and that's why
that
I
was
feel
just dumb. It's like, hold on, you're saying a player can't go out there early and get extra work on the field? Like, come on.
Or even a stretch or something.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, and maybe they may have like changed it or clarified it that. Because now, I mean, I don't believe it technically starts now until like the horn blows.
Yeah,
until
the horn blew.
Or and there's a couple of horn blows before the official horn blows.
Interesting.
Because the practice starts.
So it's like the tardy bell, and then you get the warning tardy bell and the actual tardy bell.
Well, it's like there's different start times. There's like the practice starts at 9:15, which in Andy Reid means 9:13. Starts at 9:13 every single day. I mean, there's just. Wow. It is clockwork, and that's the thing that new players who come to Kansas City will learn quickly, is that not only does practice start at 9:13 every day, but the stretch period lasts 6 minutes every single day. Install starts at 9:19 every single day, so the install period is almost the exact same time every every element of practice starts at almost the exact same time every single day, but. So at like 9:08, I believe it is when the defense starts, because the defense starts before the offense. So the defense starts with just some run-throughs. Everybody's on, all 11 players on the field, and that's why we can't shoot video of the defense at the start of practice. So they're on the field at like 9:08. 9:08 is also about the time that usually Travis Kelce gets onto the field. 9:10 is when the running backs finally start wandering down. The veterans, rookies have already been on the field for a little while. And most players come down based on, I don't know if it's just routine or when their meetings get done, because some guys will come down of a group, ahead of time, but then like entire position groups will start coming down at once.
Feels like Pennell and Karloftis come down together every single day.
They do, and they're pretty early. They're pretty early.
Because Pennell's always yelling at the crowd to yell for George Karloftis.
And Chris Jones comes down with them a lot. And Chris has not always been an early arrival. So now he comes down a little bit earlier, because he usually comes down with the other defensive linemen.
Getting older, got to put in a little more work just to maintain the body.
I keep going on diversions here, but that's another thing that surprised me because, even remember last year, Chris Jones was joking about the fact that, his new contract was like, hey, I don't have to be at practice as much.
Some veteran days from Andy Reid.
I was doing, actually, right there, I was not even doing my Chris Jones. I was doing my impression of you doing Chris Jones.
Listen.
It's like the Will Ferrell doing.
I want those days off, though.
Harry Carey.
Exactly.
And no one does Harry Carey anymore. They do the Will Ferrell impersonation of Harry
Carey.
Carey.
Because then you got to throw in his laugh. Listen. Go ahead.
So the defense does their thing. Like
but you were saying something
908.
about Chris Jones, and you were.
Chris was joking last year about.
Yeah, right.
Hey, listen,
Getting days off.
I don't have to practice every day.
Right.
I mean, we don't have to do that. Chris Jones has practiced every day this year.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed is like people talking about it. He hasn't really taken many reps off. Like out from the first team, like he's in there with almost every single rep.
Yeah, he doesn't take a lot of reps off. Hasn't taken any days off.
Yeah,
it's been pretty. I mean, as much as he's joked over the years, and last year, took some days off and everything like that. Not doing it this year.
Yeah.
And where I started with this whole thing, talking about Harrison Butker, he's taken the steam out of, I think, what would be the story of training camp early arrivals. Had he not, because I am fairly certain that Jeff Bossa has been the second player on the field every single day.
Literally wrote down Bossa to talk to you about because what he said really stood out to me when he was talking about not only film study but preparation. In that he said before every practice he goes out on the field and to visualize the game plan and the things that they went over the day before anybody gets out there, just by himself, sort of visualizing this is where I'm going or this is what the offense is doing. And you're backing that up by he's out there doing that.
100%. And that kid, I mean,
I'm so pumped for Bossa.
He feels like the most just cerebral, analytical rookie I may have ever covered so far. I mean, there have been some advanced and smart kids and everything like that. He just seems... I mean, we'll see how it translates onto the field and everything, and maybe he talks a good game. I don't know, but I don't think it's that. He seems to have an extremely high work ethic. His football IQ seems off the charts, as they would say, and I think he probably has to a degree because we kind of talked about it at draft time. He's either going to be a tweener or a hybrid, depending on how well he does. If he's a success, he's going to be a hybrid. If he just becomes Dorian O'Daniel, then he'll be a tweener because he's too big to be a safety and little small for a linebacker. But his smarts and I think his athleticism helps him out.
It does feel like the Chiefs value that maybe more than any other position is intelligence at the linebacker room. Like Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquil. Before that, it was Anthony Hitchens. They can almost work around a little athleticism differential or maybe even a little bit of questions about size, but you have to be incredibly intelligent to get on the field. I don't know if this was the truth with Willie Gay Jr. or not. I'm not trying to, you might know better than I do, but like Nick Bolton, incredibly intelligent. Drew Tranquil, incredibly intelligent. We all wanted to see more Willie Gay Jr. at some point, but there's always that concern of, does he know everything? Does he know exactly where to be? And that's why I think we didn't see a ton of him. I wonder if that's a similar situation with Leo Chanel. I don't know your thoughts. You maybe have talked to Leo more, but it does feel like the first two leading points with Drew and Nick are always intelligence first. I don't know if that's the same way we see with Leo. It almost seems athleticism first with Leo.
Strength first.
Strength first
Yeah.
with Leo.
And I mean, that's no knock against Leo. And,
No, I wasn't trying to, by the way.
And
It's like me trying to play chess against anybody because I don't play chess. But there are some amazing players, amazing, really smart people, and then there's some people that are just smart. Just Leo compared to Nick Bolton is a tough matchup with anybody when it comes to smarts on the football field.
Yeah, and it depends on just what your skill set is best at. And I mean, to play the mic, you've got, especially for Steve Spagnuolo, you've got to have a pretty high football IQ, and and that's why I really see, Bossa. Hey, there was thought about why do you draft Bossa at that spot, and what's kind of the future for him, and we know Leo is going to be free agent potentially at the end of this year. I think Tranquil technically has a year, but you can walk on him as far as contract goes, depending on just age and performance. But where does Bossa fit in? I mean, he really looks. I mean, he has the skill set to be the Drew Tranquil replacement if necessary. Because he mentioned the fact that he's working on the weak outside linebacker and the middle linebacker spot. So they're clearly grooming him to be a Nick Bolton backup, but they're also grooming him to be this year a Drew Tranquil backup. And for the future, I mean, eventually maybe the Drew Tranquil replacement.
So I get that, and I feel like we all are a little in agreement here of the potential Drew Tranquil because that role, especially in coverage, feels like that's where he's going to excel. We talked about the size, a little smaller. I get that'd be my concern if he were to ever try and take the quote-unquote Nick Bolton role. Let's say Nick Bolton, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't
he'd probably
happen.
just take the Drew Tranquil role. I don't know that he ever takes.
No, but there's grooming him just in case if, let's just say, knock on wood, Nick Bolton gets injured. Let's hope he doesn't. But if he does, I don't know how he would fit just being that smaller stature. Do you think he could handle that size-wise, or would that be a stretch?
I mean, that's the really good question of it. And I would say probably a little bit the same I would say about Drew Tranquil, which is that he could probably handle it for a while. I just don't know if you want a full 17-game season and a postseason run with Jeff Bossa as your middle linebacker. I think that's just, that would be a big ask for him at his size. But if you needed somebody to keep the show running while, Nick Bolton misses a few weeks, yeah, or is, knocked out of a game or just needs a breather, yeah, I think he can handle it.
Let me ask you from this standpoint, because, again, I like Bossa. And I love that they got Bossa because Howie Roseman wanted to trade up one spot to get a guy that
That's always a good sign.
Chiefs weren't taking anyway. So they got a free pick for Jeffrey Bossa. We were wondering about running back on the team. And Brashard Smith has had some highlights in the passing game. We'll see how much of a running back he will be for the team this year. It's a tougher position, but we also saw Carson Steele go undrafted and then start at running back, early on in the season. Injury, because of that. But still, I don't know that Brashard Smith is in a position that Carson Steele was ready to go. And, okay, you got to have this guy as your main back. Okay, Carson Steele. If Brashard Smith has to be the main back, I think there would probably be some issues early on. I bring that up because, like, Brashard Smith, 7th-round pick. We know those 7th-rounders are typically, you draft the guy so you don't have to go through UDFAs with them. If Trevor Etienne or Dylan Sampson is available at pick 151 for the Colts, and they take those guys, one of those guys instead of DJ Giddens, and Giddens is there for the Chiefs, is Bossa on the team?
Good question.
Because there were a few running backs the Colts were talking about, and those guys went before they took DJ Giddens, and then DJ Giddens was taken, and then the Chiefs trade up and get Bossa. So I wonder if they're like, well, we like these couple guys, and oh crap, that guy's gone. We're not going to miss out on Bossa. We're not going to miss out on both those guys. Okay, well, we missed out on the running backs, so now we'll take Brashard Smith in the 7th.
I mean, I think they probably still take Bossa.
Okay.
Because Bossa was, at that point, I mean, and Brett Veach hasn't laid this out specifically, but I think and feel like from the way that they have spoken and talked about these players, they clearly had Bossa higher on their board than they had Brashard Smith. And I think Brashard Smith I don't know if Veach has actually said this, but my impression has been that Brashard Smith was like a 5th rounder on their board. So, hey, was there a possibility that they had some running backs maybe higher than Brashard Smith when they took Bossa? Possibly. But I think they still had Bossa ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, okay. Because we had talked so much about running back, and then they come away with a guy who's sort of a wide receiver running back hybrid. They need playmakers. Again, it's the running back type that I wanted them to take. Like either take a full-on overall running back like a Giddens or some of these other running backs we've seen in the draft this past year, so that you can then move on from Pacheco after this year. You don't have to worry about signing him, or now you don't have a running back at all. You don't have to go the Kareem Hunt route or anything like that. Okay, you've got your main, 2 minimum, maybe 3 down back. If not, then get somebody that has juice. And Brashard Smith certainly has juice. And so, I don't know, are they better off with Giddens and then another linebacker, or Brashard Smith and Bossa? I don't know. I'm excited about Bossa. So this is not to take anything away from him. I just, see Brashard Smith, all of the highlights. And again, it's camp. It's tough to get the running game going. But I don't know. I'd be shocked if Brashard Smith were to make an impact on this team to the level that maybe DJ Giddens would have if he was drafted, where, hopefully Bossa makes an impact on this team, special teams wise, and where it's, not that big of a deal.
I mean, Brashard Smith absolutely has the potential, I think, to make a huge impact.
Okay. In what way? Like as that running back wide receiver hybrid? Or even as just simply handing him the ball in the backfield and running it.
I mean, we're going to learn about the running back part of it. We'll see if we learn this week because he dinged up that finger yesterday, so I don't know how much or if he's going to play. Certainly would probably impact his ability to be a returner tomorrow. And that's where I think the Chiefs really want to see him, because if he has a really good, and especially if they can get him out on there on some punt returns and he has some good moments, he might knock Nico Remilio off this team. And, because Nico right now is their best punt returner, I mean, by far. And Brashard Smith is going to be the question, like, can he steal that job? Can he take it away from Nico? And if he does, that's going to probably cost Nico a roster spot. But I will say this, my best Eric Bieniemy voice, I will say this.
At the end of the day.
When
it's all said and done.
I mean, the Chiefs have not had an explosive running back since Damian Williams. That's what they've lacked in this offense.
McKinnon gave him some of that late 2021.
A little bit, but he wasn't like an every down guy.
Right, he wasn't an every down guy.
It was just those moments. And this is what a huge compliment to Brashard Smith. He's a better pass catcher right now than Jerick McKinnon. I mean, he's better in the passing game. Some of that is just youth and just explosion, because Jet, when he got here, I mean, Jet was still fast, but it wasn't, Jerick McKinnon of 23.
Yeah.
He was Jerick McKinnon after like 18 knee surgeries and 35 years old. He wasn't that old, but he was a dinosaur, as Andy Reid once said.
Yeah, right.
But, you can put Brashard Smith in the backfield. You can split him out. You can do anything you want to with him in the passing game, and he can pretty much make it work. I mean, this dude, I will bet a steak dinner, as my friend Jesse Newell and I keep doing.
How many steak dinners bets do you guys have?
Apparently 3.
Okay, good.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, this could be a big
porterhouse,
win for somebody.
filet.
That's steak.
We didn't really. We just said
ribeye.
steak's a steak. So
Yeah,
I mean,
steak's a steak.
if I win the bet, I mean, Justin Jim's. I mean, that's where I feel like I need to be taking and everything.
But you got this steak bet.
If I lose, if I lose, well, I mean, Jesse can take the absolute best he can find at your local Perkins. And
Absolutely.
we'll go from there.
It sounds like Outback. Let's get a bloomin' onion while we're there.
I'm not taking Jesse to Outback. I mean, come on, that's out of my price range.
Hey, there you can get some nice steak dinners.
Oh, and this has
specials at a
nothing to
bar.
do with quality. This is all about price. I mean,
Yes,
I'm
for sure.
taking Jesse to High V on Thursday night for steak night.
Good
I mean,
for you,
I'll
man.
show you where to go for $18
That's a great
steak
bargain.
night
Good
deals.
for you.
I got
$18
you.
is still too expensive.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm looking for under
come on,
10
man.
here. I mean,
Right.
Wow.
I'll get you a guaranteed food steak. You can just
Thursday,
make it at home.
Thursday,
Yeah.
High V steak night. That's
Make
where
that
it's
for you.
at.
So what's your Brashard Smith steak bet that you would have with us?
What I would make
you
is
would
that
say is-
I will say that Brashard Smith. I'm going to set the yardage at 69.5, 69.5.
Nice.
There you go. He will have a touchdown. I will take the over on. He will have a touchdown out of that distance this year.
Whoa.
As a receiver.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely have to write that one down.
So it's either. I mean, hey, it could be that he takes a screen pass and takes it all the way because he just makes a couple of guys miss and he's gone. He could be on a wheel route downfield and catches a bomb 50 yards and takes it to the net of 25. He's going to give. I mean, the Chiefs have not had a long distance touchdown from a running back. I don't think since
that
Damian
Minnesota
Williams.
Vikings game, the
Viking
91
games
yard
was
run.
the one jumping out at me. Yeah.
That 91-yard run from
And
Damian Williams.
I was even seeing, a highlight of one of
91.
those Damian Williams touchdowns against the 49ers in the
Yeah.
first Super Bowl. And the Chiefs have not had a running back that can make that play since.
I mean, well, you know what?
Except maybe McKinnon, but
The Jets game when Pacheco broke it to the left and that the hole was wide open.
But I think that was only. I mean, because
it was like 40 yards.
It was like 42
yeah,
yards.
It was like,
yeah,
it was
I
like
think-
40 yards. Yeah, right. But when you're talking about like a 50, a 60-yarder, the 90-yarder against the Vikings that Damian Williams broke when Tyreek Hill caught up to him and it pissed Damian Williams off. It's like, dude, I wasn't running as hard. I couldn't see you sprinting to catch up, and Tyreek Hill bragging to him, "I caught you. I was 20 yards back, and I caught you. I wasn't running as fast as I could. That's not fair.
It's not fair.
Which it isn't fair, but still, Tyreek caught him. Wow, that is bold. 69.5, an over/under touchdown reception or run. Just touchdown.
Or run. But I will.
For Brashard Smith this
say
year.
this. Gosh, I'm really in my Eric Bieniemy mode today.
Yes, it's a hell of a player.
That said, as polished as he already is as a receiver, because he's been a receiver most of his college career, I mean, he's got work to do as a runner, and that's why I do want to see him in the backfield, because you don't learn anything about runners in training camp. I mean, you're only going to learn that.
I hope he gets the lion's share of the carries tomorrow.
Once you get to going against some other teams, and so he may be a guy that if you can get him a hole, all he needs to do is make one guy miss, and he's off to the races.
Again, going back to that Vikings run, that's all Damian Williams had a hole. He made the safety miss and gone. It made one guy miss as a jab step, and nobody caught him.
But I mean, and he's I think he's admitted to well, and frankly, when we talked to him, I think he had kind of acknowledged all of the things that he still needs to learn.
Yeah.
Which one is patience. It's identifying the holes for him. It's also going to be, understanding the blocking lanes of the NFL. Everything's a little bit different in college. But there's also some simple things. Just because he hasn't been a running back very long, it's going to be about getting low to the ground, about protecting the football. He still runs a little bit too upright, for the Chiefs' preferences. That's also one of the things that I know, like Dave Tobe wants to see more out of him is just running lower, getting a lower center of gravity, getting low to the ground, and not running so upright. He's not Louis Rees-Zammit upright, but he's a little bit more than you typically want in a runner.
What's funny is I'm glad you had a fun hot take in regards to Brashard Smith, because mine was that he's a Pro Bowler this year.
Ooh,
as a returner.
Could be.
I've been in on Brashard Smith.
He's going Jalen Ramsey here. He's a Pro Bowl as a returner. Pro Bowl returner.
Here's the funny thing. I mean, so I'll compare the two. Because he was a receiver for so long, he's a running back who runs like a receiver. Whereas, remember, Rashee Rice played running back a lot in his youth, and he's a receiver who runs a lot like a running back.
Yeah.
They're a little bit of a dichotomy that way.
Interesting.
But
Matt Derrick saying Rashee Rice, move him to running back. Wow, that's an interesting take.
I did not say that.
What I heard.
But now I'm intrigued at least a little bit.
Interesting.
Well, when the Bengals put Jamar back there, and there was some success when T went down. Yeah,
Chiefs put Xavier Worthy in the backfield a couple times, lining up.
Would I put him in the backfield every once in a while? Yes, I absolutely would.
Matt Derrick is our guest. Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. We'll get his thoughts on what will he be watching. Who will he be watching tomorrow? Chiefs and Cardinals, specific players, looking for certain things from the team, and if guys have earned their way on or maybe off the 53-man roster in these first few weeks of camp. We take a timeout. We come back, continue hanging out with Matt Derrick next. Matt Derrick hanging out with us. Chief Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. Chiefs and Cardinals tomorrow. We talked about in the first hour things that we were sort of looking for and watching and wanting to see tomorrow, players. Sterling went with the running game, sort of what you were talking about there, Matt, and Brashard Smith, and things you can't see in training camp, what happens in an actual game when you're handing the ball off and, the blockers you can get taken to the ground, all of that stuff, finish the tackles. Obviously, people are talking about Josh Simmons. We want to see that. I'd mentioned Kingsley at left guard. I also threw out Najee Johnson, that I'm sort of interested to watch him, hearing him talk about the knee bothering him last year. So those are some of the names, and maybe that's duplicate for you. But as you get ready for this game tomorrow and watching the game tomorrow against the Cardinals, what are you going to be looking for and watching? Anything that's going to stand out or you're going to be focusing on?
I mean, I think the Josh Simmons, Kingsley Suamataia angle is ditto for everybody. I mean,
right.
You definitely want to see that. Again, you don't know if you're going to see it for 6 snaps or an entire quarter. Yeah. We'll see how much of that is. I mean, Andy Reid, bless his heart, always comes out and says, hey, the ones will take the first quarter, two's the second, and so on and so forth. And it's just not usually how it works out, but he means well. So you got to see that. I like the Najee Johnson. I'm just going to include the entire cornerback group after Trent McDuffie there because based on camp, I can't tell you who's going to start opposite Trent McDuffie. Based on the last few days, I would say that Jalen Watson will be the first corner out there opposite McDuffie. I imagine Nazee's going to play quite a bit, and that may be because last week was Nazee's week, this week was Jalen's week. I imagine that there's a little bit of the twos, and maybe with Najee, maybe you get him in late first quarter. He plays the entire second. Maybe he's a little bit at the beginning of the third, just because you want to see that. Yes. You want to see his knee and where he's at. And let's face it. I mean, and this is why I'll combine kind of the Josh Simmons question here too a little bit, is that as much as I've been hey, let's pump the brakes on Josh Simmons and not put the pressure on the kid and everything like that, the one area where I will hit the accelerator and I will say is that, hey, if Josh Simmons has a really good year this year, then, I mean, just bank on next year being even better.
Yeah.
Because guys are just never themselves the first year after any kind of knee injury. They're always better the second year, as good as they might be. And, and there's some positions like receivers and, pass catchers are usually the ones that can come back from a knee injury the quickest and the most and the easiest. And, some of that's because, hey, they know where they're going. So at least they've got an advantage on the defender sometimes. But then even when they come back the second year, they're usually even better.
Yeah.
So, and I'll bring Rashee Rice into that conversation and say, hey, and I don't expect to see Rashee tomorrow at all. No him, no Hollywood Brown. They're not going to play, I would imagine. But if Rashee has a good year this year, next year's going to be even better. So, those things. I'm interested to see Jalen Watson and Najee, how they perform. Who's in next after that? I mean, how Noel Williams performs.
Yes.
All of the rookie class, but Noel Williams is big to me. Chris Roland-Wallace is an interesting one to watch, even though he's a second-year player, because I think it's a little under the radar that he's pretty much a safety right now.
Yeah.
And it's not as much as that he's a safety, it's that he's the Chamari Connor backup. I mean, we've heard Steve Spagnuolo talking about Chamari Connor going back to certainly OTAs, but even with the way they used him last year, I mean, they love Chamari Connor. They just they see him as a Swiss Army knife of that defensive backfield and being able to use him in so many different ways. And I compare it to the way that they use like Tyrann Mathieu. Could Chris Roland-Wallace become the Kendall Fuller to Chamari Connor?
Okay.
I don't know, because I really see it right now. I see it as Trent McDuffie and Chamari Connor are kind of the Tyrann Mathieu and Kendall Fuller of that 2019 team, because they're the two guys you can put on the opposite sides, and depending on what the offense does, I mean, hey, McDuffie can play the slot. He can drop back.
Yeah.
Connor can do the exact same thing. You're able to put McDuffie anywhere on the field that you want to as well. So you can do kind of the same things you do with Connor.
Yeah, and late in that season, I mean, Kendall Fuller was playing single high, for the
Exactly.
Chiefs when they beat the 49ers.
And there were moments that, during the OTAs or during beginning of training camp, really, that I would watch the Chiefs defense and I would hear Spags talking about Chamari Connor, and I'd be like, what are they going to do if something happens to Chamari Connor? I mean, even in the middle of a game. I mean, like, you're going to just have to, completely change your game plan. Well, no, I mean, as training camp's kind of worn on, I've seen it now. I've realized, no, I mean, if they had to go through in a pinch and everything, I mean, Chris Roland-Wallace is coming in to play the Chamari Connor role. I mean, he is his backup.
Yeah. It's interesting that, last year on the depth chart, Roland-Wallace was listed as a safety, but he played cornerback. And this year he's listed as a cornerback, but he's playing safety. It's like, Can somebody talk to Spags, please, or Dave Merritt? Can somebody have a conversation about Chris Roland-Wallace, about what position he plays?
Chamari Connor's now listed as a safety this year, though.
I don't know if it's on the positional roster. I think it could be still on like a group roster. I think that Nazee's still listed as a safety in some places.
Is he?
So
that's great. Yeah, not on the positional roster right now, but the Joshua Simmons thing, and Kingsley, the irony, if you want to call it that, really coincidence, I guess, symmetry of the fact that the Chiefs are playing the Arizona Cardinals. I wish this was preseason game number 2, because that's when we get to see the starters out there a little bit more. Kingsley played 24 snaps in preseason game number 2 last year at left tackle, because that's what the starters played. So I'd love to see 3 possessions with Josh Simmons, because tomorrow, oddly enough, he's going to be matched up against Josh Sweat, who had 7 pressures and 3 sacks against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. What a great way to see the difference between last year, the most recent game they've played with their left tackle. Joe Thuney was doing yeoman's work as much as he could to be that tackle, but they destroyed the left side of the offensive line, that Philadelphia Eagles team did, and Josh Sweat was all over the place. And again, the 3 sacks, and he earned the contract with the Cardinals. They're playing their starters tomorrow. Josh Sweat's going to be out there playing. He lines up on the right side of the defense, which is against the left tackle. I'll be kind of annoyed if we only see that matchup 4 times and only one of them is a pass. This is where I'd like to see 3 possessions where Josh Simmons, Josh Sweat, to get a pretty decent idea of what it looked like the most recent time they had a left tackle going up against this exact guy that wreaked havoc on the Chiefs offense overall. But it may only be 6 snaps, and it may be to where, okay, well, Sweat is going to line up on the left side on this one. I just want to, like in a practice, just Sweat, Simmons out there for go and see what they do against each other.
Yeah, I mean, especially, it's preseason anyway, but first preseason game. I mean, and the Chiefs have not done any game planning for this game whatsoever. So it's not like they're going into this and have done 3 days of preparation for Josh Simmons going up against Josh Sweat. I mean, they've done zero. I mean, today might be the day. Hey, by the way, Rook, I mean, you're going to be going up with this guy that destroyed us in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that might be a tough 6 snaps. But the other thing that kind of frustrates me going into this game, and we'll see if it's different going into game 2, is that at this point the Chiefs haven't done anything as far as preparing their first team to go beyond Mahomes. I mean, how many snaps the first team's on the field is really just dependent on how much exposure you want Patrick Mahomes to have.
Yeah, true.
Because Gardner Minshew hasn't taken any snaps with the first team.
Really?
None that I've seen in training camp. So, you're not really prepared necessarily. That doesn't mean that they could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but usually Andy Reid wants to at least get his backup some work with the first team before he sends them out there in a game situation. So I would be more encouraged if this next week up in St. Joe that we saw Gardner get some snaps with the first team, because then it would tell me, okay, wait, maybe they're going to give him a drive. So now Simmons and Kingsley can stay on the field longer than Mahomes does and get some work done. But right now, I don't expect it. I mean, I think the starters will be out there just as long as Mahomes is.
I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't even need to see Mahomes out there. Like, if Mahomes didn't play, but the starters and Gardner Minshew played 3 series, I'd take it right now. I'd take it right now rather than you get 1 series to watch Patrick Mahomes play football. Cool. That's awesome. I want to see him play football as much as possible. But if it means I get the starters out there and seeing Simmons and Kingsley and those guys get as many reps as possible, I'll take Gardner Minshew playing for those 3 possessions if that's the case. But I'm with you. I think we're going to see Simmons and Kingsley with the first team offensive line, which is going to come off the field with Patrick Mahomes.
In fairness, though, Patrick
actually, I
wants
didn't
that
even
first
ask
hit.
you if that was the case. But
He wants that first hit. Patrick wants that first hit. He always
likes that.
He always talks about
right.
that.
But so I shouldn't put words in your mouth. The way you were describing it seemed like you were thinking that Simmons and Kingsley were going to be out there only with the first team and come off the field. Is that what you expect to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect. Yeah. I don't think that. I certainly don't expect that they're going to keep either one or both of those guys out there with the 2s, because again, we have never seen that, and I don't think you want. And Andy Reid, Andy Heck certainly don't necessarily want a guy who's never worked with some other people in an NFL game, with preseason or not, all of a sudden say, hey, go out there and with no prep time or practice. I mean, it doesn't mean they haven't done some run throughs and maybe back in OTAs they took some snaps together, but by and large, I mean, no. I mean, Kingsley and Simmons haven't been out there with Hunter Norzad and, or Mike Caliendo and whomever else is out there. Haven't been out there with Gardner Minshew. Don't know his snap count and his voice. So that's just, that I think is a bad situation to put your rookies into. So that's why I don't think we're going to see it this week. Next week, I'd like to see it. I just don't know if they're going to do that then either.
Yeah, because they did the last 2 years, the offensive line has been out there. The starting offensive line has played the same amount of snaps as Patrick Mahomes. So, that's what we've seen. I think they will stay with that same, strategy this year as well. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. We'll hang out with Matt Derrick. One more segment, Chiefs Digest. 41 is the mic, and we'll talk about some things he has seen at camp. Are there guys that have gone from, is he on the roster, to actually he is on the roster, or this guy's on the roster, to I don't know if he's on the roster anymore? We'll talk about Matt Derrick, if anybody has filled that particular category. We'll talk about that as we take a break right here. More Zone next. All right, hanging out with Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. So, Matt, these 3 weeks of camp, has it been 3 weeks? Which one? We'll put you on 3. We'll put you on 3. How about that one?
Put you on 3.
Put you on 3. There you go. He's on 3. You're good.
I lost
All good
control
to
of
go.
my microphone.
Yep,
3 is the mic, actually. 3 is the mic.
Not
4 and 1.
4 and 1 is the mic. Oh, no.
Never say that. Well, Drake is good.
He's so good, man.
so
It's
good.
just so good. So good. Has it been 3 weeks of camp now?
I mean, camp started
Sure.
22nd-ish.
We'll just go with that. 3-ish weeks, whatever it's
What's
been.
today?
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever it's been.
It feels longer.
Okay, so
whatever it feels longer.
For you, certainly, yes. So I presented those 2 categories, and maybe there are no names in either. Maybe neither category has a name filled in. But if there is a name in these 2 categories, one being he really wasn't on the team, or at least he wasn't on an initial 53, and now I feel like he's on it. Or, well, this guy was on, but I think he's on the outside looking in now. So does a player fill one of those, either of those categories?
I mean, for my first roster, I have to go back and look at it. I'm pretty sure my first roster projection, I had Tyquan Thornton as the number 7 receiver,
You had
just
him in the
outside.
mix.
He was in the mix. Thank you. In the
You're
mix.
welcome. I looked at it.
Because you got the top 5 that are going to make the team, and depending on Rashid's suspension and/or whether it happens or not. I don't think this issue with the ankle. I mean, we'll see with Hollywood. We haven't really gotten a great answer about what severity of ankle sprain it kind of is. If it's a high ankle sprain, I mean, it certainly probably puts week 1 in kind of a question.
We heard last week that Jordan Schultz was like, "Oh, it's so minor, he could be at practice tomorrow."
And whenever you do hear anything, I will say, gosh, I'm really Eric Bieniemy today.
I will say this.
We'll say this. Anytime you hear the Chiefs, talking about an injury, even off the record, I mean, or on the background, it's always going to be. If it says, "Hey, could be back at practice tomorrow," and for training camp, that usually means 5 or 6 days.
And who knows? And what tomorrow was he talking about? It's like the sign, free beer tomorrow. You show up, it's like, oh, there's free beer tomorrow. Then you show up, and it's free beer tomorrow. Hollywood Brown, he could be playing tomorrow, and tomorrow. So Tyquan Thornton is a guy that
if anybody misses week 1 and isn't on the roster, I mean, and I certainly think that there's a possibility. I mean, in some of those scenarios, unless Rashid's suspended. I mean, if Rashid's suspended, I think Tyquan absolutely makes this roster.
Yeah.
At this point, it's his spot to lose. He may make it regardless, like I talked about earlier, the competition with Nico. Nico is going to make this team as a special teamer. If somebody steals his jobs, that the Chiefs feel like, hey, there's somebody that they can pair with Brashard Smith on kickoffs, and they feel like Brashard can handle punt returns or someone else, but Brashard is really the best and only choice right now. I mean, technically, Sky Moore's in the conversation, but I have Sky Moore on the wrong side of the bubble right now. And that's a guy that I would also include in the category that, hey, if the Chiefs want to try and make a trade and find somebody that might need a fresh start, Sky's one of about 3 guys that fits in that category for me.
One of the other guys that fits in that category for me. We may have talked about it briefly yesterday. It came up. It just happens to be that you said that Josh Williams is a guy that fits in that category for me.
Yeah.
That
Jinx, owe me a Coke.
Oh, darn it! I'll give you a Coke when Sarda stops in. How about that? That'd be good. Josh Williams to the Dolphins seems like it's a deal that should have been done a week ago. I mean, they've got nobody. They've got the worst secondary. The Dolphins and the Bengals maybe have the worst secondary. At least the Bengals have names that have been there and done that, and they think with Al Golden they'll improve. The Dolphins have nobody in their secondary and their best cornerback towards ACL. So I feel like Josh Simmons should have already been traded, or the Chiefs are looking at it and saying Simmons or Nazi or somebody else. We'll give it a little bit of time before we make that move. But good God, the Dolphins are going to have to make some moves in the secondary.
How concerned are you with FAU this upcoming season? I
He's
don't know
the
what
third
because
The
he
third
was
guy that could result in a trade?
that I think needs a change of scenery.
because we saw the depth chart and he was behind Gelati, and that to me was shocking because rookies are traditionally very far down. Andy Reid, I know it's the unofficial and he's not the one actually making it, but typically rookies get the, if there's even a question, they're down on the depth chart. Look at Jalen Royals. Look how far down he was. Look at Noel Williams, how far down he was. Brashard Smith, Bassa. And then all of a sudden you see Gelati ahead of FAU. That to me was pretty telling.
Yeah, and this is one of those things. If you're watching the game tomorrow as a fan, second quarter is going to be big for you because especially early. I mean, I can't necessarily say for like the last 5 minutes of the second quarter necessarily, but a good chunk of the second quarter, you're going to look out there, and if guys are on the field in the second quarter, you got a really good chance of making this team. If they're not on the field in the second quarter, they're on the wrong side of the bubble. And Josh Williams and Felix are two good examples, because if Andy Reid holds true and, hey, the third team comes in the third quarter, that's where Josh Williams and Felix have been playing. And if they're on the third team right now, at this point, which they have been at training camp, they're on the wrong side of the bubble right now. So, yeah, I mean, and I still get what the upside of Felix is. He is still young, relatively speaking. I mean,
23.
Yeah, I mean he's still a year younger than Karlaftis. I mean, maybe almost 2 years younger, but and even Karlaftis talked about earlier this year that, hey, it takes you sometimes 3 or 4 years in this position. And, we've talked about, Jason, the comparison between Karlaftis having a breakout year and some other guys like the Max Crosbys and the Trey Hendricksons and Daniel Hunters. I mean, some of them had their breakout years in year 4, so it's not uncommon. But you would need to see something from Felix this year. And, I think the really struggling thing is just that Felix just still seems like a wide pass rusher. He's just a wide outside pass rusher. He's not a guy that you can, move in and maybe be, a true guy that goes mano a mano with a tackle. His only move is to be far outside and try to run around him as fast as he can.
They have kept either 9 or 10 defensive linemen, the Chiefs do typically. They kept 9 last year. 23 they kept 10, and 22 they kept 10. So 9 last year and then 10 the year before. So we know Dana, Pennell, Jones, Karlaftis, Amenahue, Omar Norman-Lott, Ashton Gelati are on the team. There's 7. Is Tillery on the team for sure? There's 8. So if they only keep 9, you're talking about Fabian Lovett, Malik Herring, FAU, Tuipulotu. If they keep 10, then it'd be 2 of that group of 3 or 4 players. But if they only keep 1, they may go with Lovett. And, hey, we need help at the defensive interior, and that then may prompt the trade that we're talking about that may take place if that happens. Like, that's where you get into the numbers crunch of, like, well, FAU's going to be on the team. Well, let's do the numbers here. Let's add them up. They keep 9 or 10, and you get to 9 or 10, and he's there on the bubble. He may get the first-round draft pick benefit. We're going to keep him around again. But we also saw the first-round or first-pick benefit of Breeland Speaks. A little bit different. He showed up out of shape, and so that got him in bad graces with the coach.
And there's another couple of differences. I mean, remember Breeland was a second rounder, so he was a little bit
right. He was just the first one that he took.
But here's the other catch: is that Felix has a guaranteed contract, 100% guaranteed.
That's a good point.
So
trading him,
Chiefs are going to eat that money regardless.
Yeah, but would they save a little if they trade him?
They'd save. They would save. As long as the team that they're acquiring acquires all of his base salary.
Yeah.
They'd save all of that.
Yeah,
and he's not, and he doesn't have that much base salary. I mean, honestly, most of the sunk costs with him is in the signing bonus.
Yeah.
It's been for the next 2 seasons. But you still have a little bit of year 3, year 4 base salary that you'd have to eat if you just released him.
Yeah.
If you trade him, yes. So that's why I think that Felix, he's either on this team or traded. That's the only 2 options.
Why do we find it so hard to see him on the field? Because he'll get 6 snaps a game, and I think he always looks solid in those 6 snaps.
Looks like he makes plays when he's out there. I agree
like
with that.
6 snaps a game, and he makes like 2 flash plays, and you look at 4 solid plays. I very rarely feel like he was out of position or was a detriment on a specific play. Is it just because those 6 plays, they line them up wide and say, we're just going to do this for 6 plays? We can't trust you for a traditional 4-3? Or is there just another reason that we're just simply not seeing? Because those 6 snaps a game, I always like what I see from FAU.
Yeah, I think it's 2 parts, and you hit on, I think, both of them there. I mean, the first is that if he gets on the field, it's in a situation that they truly feel is beneficial of his abilities, that they're not putting him in any spot where he doesn't think he can handle it. And, yeah, I mean, if they're just putting him out there in a wide 9 rush spot, that's might be his 6 snaps a game. And he can have some good plays in 6 plays. But then it's, okay, what about the next 6 and the 6 after that? And all of a sudden, if he's playing 18 snaps, are you liking him as much?
But we never have, I guess. And again, they know way more than us. So I'm not. This is just. These are my questions of. But if you never get to the opportunity in a game, then how will we ever know?
Yeah, and I think that's where, because if you go into camp and seeing him all multiple snaps, that's where you get the consistency problem.
Well, and
so
tomorrow,
that's where I would say, and tomorrow too. I mean,
Tomorrow,
you'll see.
I mean,
if he gets 24 snaps tomorrow,
I want him to get a lot of snaps.
you'll see and say like, hey, wait a minute, there's 8 really good snaps, and maybe there's 8 snaps that he wishes he had back, and maybe there's 8 more snaps that you're like, ooh, maybe we need to have Ashton Gelati out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's we'll see tomorrow. It's. I hope it's more than I hope they have a long extended drive. Like the first drive is just like a 9 or 10 play drive.
Nobody gets hurt on the opening drive. I think it's your number one hope.
Always number one. What do you want to see? No injuries. Okay, we move past that.
And last year, first play.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and that was a difficult one. Real quick before we get out of here, briefly. The Chargers lose Rashawn Slater for the year.
Yeah,
and it's awful. And they were one of the better offensive line units that were thin, that they may not be able to withstand an injury, and then they had it to probably the wrong guy.
And the worst possible injury.
Yes. So now you're moving your right tackle to left tackle, and your right tackle might be a guy who was an inferior right guard last year in Pipkins, or Mekhi Becton, who's been often injured and is injured now for the Chargers and got moved from tackle to guard because he wasn't good enough at tackle. Like, those are your choices. They were thin there, and it's a tough spot for them to try to overcome. It's a pretty big blow for the Chargers and the offense and what they want to do by losing Rashawn Slater, because that may open up 2 spots on that line that are worse, or 3 maybe, because if you're moving Alt over there, they clearly feel Rashawn Slater is better than Alt. And more experience, so you're maybe a little bit worse there, even if it's even, than right tackle. And if you move Pipkins, and there's a couple of other spots that you've downgraded on that offensive line, that is pretty crucial that Harbaugh has built, because that's the style of football he wants to play.
And, the Chargers could be in the market for a guy who's had a few starts in the NFL.
Wanya Morris.
Tackle. I mean, you're a Chiefs fan. Would you rather have Wanya Morris as your 4th tackle, or would you be willing to trade him for, say, a conditional 5th or 6th?
I'd move him. I'd move him. Yeah. I'm worried about the Chiefs getting better, not another team.
I mean, if you...
Oh, no. I don't think about that, but I still think Wanya Morris is a decent break in case of emergency option.
I mean, if you trade him, your 4th tackle is now probably Ethan Driscoll or Esapole.
Yeah, Esapole. It just sort of depends on what they...
Is it Pole this whole time?
Yeah.
I thought it was Pole.
I did
Pole.
too.
I mean, if you look at the pronunciation, I believe it's Pole.
They don't even have him listed in the pronunciation guide.
In the pronunciation at Washington State, that said Pole.
I've been a dumbass this whole time. Not just about this, but I've been a dumbass this whole time.
Yeah. Some things go without saying.
I thought your name this whole time was Sterling Holmes.
Holmes.
It is, actually.
Holmes. Sterling
First
Holmes.
name's actually Mobile. Mobile Holmes.
Mahomes.
Matt, that's your name. Appreciate you, brother. As always, we'll talk next week.
Sounds great.
Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. Thunder Gong next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes. Thank you to Matt Derrick. Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. And very cool, special opportunity here for us to get a chance to talk about some Thunder Gong coming up and Zarda Barbecue. And Billy Brimblecombe and Terry Heyer with us. Billy from Steps of Faith, and Terry Zarda, I believe is the name.
You're right.
45 years and counting with Zarda Barbecue for Terry. Man, that is one heck of a run. That is a Zarda man, if there ever was one.
It's been a journey, man. It's been a journey. 1980, walking the door, busboy, and just never left. And
That's
it was
amazing.
just a love and a passion, and it's a great company, great family to work with, and why would I leave? I got Kansas City barbecue, all you can eat, and let's go.
Yes. You guys are here to talk about Thunder Gong that's coming up November 8th at Uptown Theater. It all goes to Steps of Faith. And Billy, you started this thing. So I'm just wondering, as Thunder Gong is coming up, and people are going to enjoy that, but you get to enjoy that while giving back to a really cool cause. How do you come up with this event in Thunder Gong and Steps of Faith? How do you come up with first the foundation? Why? What's the motivation behind that for you to start this thing for Steps of Faith?
Yeah, so I mean, the Steps of Faith piece was really just, I lost my leg to cancer in 2005, and fortunately lived to tell the tale. That's how I'm here talking to you. That's how that works. I'm not talking from the spirit world.
This is a seance, and people don't realize that.
Yeah. Welcome. I'm an amputee myself, and I Steps of Faith starting was really like a thing that just kind of fell from the sky into my lap. I was living in Nashville, Tennessee, 2013. I was a professional musician. We had a brand new baby. I was like, I don't want to leave the house. I definitely don't want to go on tour, which was what I did for a living. And then one day I was asked to talk to another amputee that was in the prosthetic clinic, and I said, I wish that could be my job. And so a little bit more of a story than that, but Steps of Faith was born pretty much that day. It was an existing 501c3, and I was asked to come and run it. And 12 and a half years later, moving back to Kansas City, Steps of Faith, we get prosthetic limbs for amputees that have no health insurance or terrible health insurance.
Yeah.
So we're 500 people lose a limb every day just in America, which seems crazy, but it's true. And so we're helping people get back to work, back to life, back to mobility.
What's your life been like? Like from a personal experience, when you talk about that, your life before and then after, you being able to get the limb.
Yeah, I mean, when a baby is born, the first two milestones that you mark are the baby's first words and the baby's first steps.
Mm-hmm.
Then you really don't think about walking ever again until you can't. And so many people are like, I feel bad even saying this, but I had a knee replacement. I thought of you, or I broke my leg and I thought of you, because it's when you can't walk, then you think about it. So, I had cancer. I wasn't afraid of dying. Fortunately, my doctors death was very much on their radar, and they kept me alive. I just was afraid of losing my leg. Interestingly enough, when that actually happened, my biggest fear, it changed my life for the better. It changed everything. I mean, obviously, and what we're doing is not just getting people moving again. I could have got into this studio if I was on crutches, with no prosthetic limb, but it would have been harder physically. But I also would have felt different mentally and emotionally. I don't hide the fact that I'm an amputee, but it really does change everything about my life. Not just physically. And so I know that that's what we're able to do for people. So yeah, I mean, it changed the trajectory of my life for the better. I had a good life before, and I've had a much better life. So I met my wife after, about a month after losing my leg. So it wasn't like I was looked like I do now. I mean, I looked like I was dying, I was literally worried that when my hair grew back from the chemo that she might not be attracted to me, and I would have to shave
great
my head.
hair, too.
It's good-looking hair.
Thank you, guys.
That is some nice
And I had
lettuce.
no
on there.
idea. I just liked your jeans.
Oh, yeah.
I liked the
there's
selvage,
Levi's,
and I was
Levi's 502.
Yeah.
For those of wondering. Yeah. So, the hair is from Turkey.
Nice.
That's where you go to get hair. These
Wild
days.
turkey.
We had that whole
the wild turkey helped
conversation.
with the hair. That's what that got.
No, the hair is real. The leg is not. But I really lucked out. Yeah, man. Happy to be here to tell the tale and talking about Thundergong and Thunderberry barbecue sauce.
Yes, that's right. So Zarda is one of the bigger supporters of Steps of Faith. Thundergong, a huge event annually here in Kansas City. How many years is this for Thundergong?
This will be number 9.
Number 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna, if you would have said how many years, 5 or 6, maybe 5 or 6 years, but number 9. That is crazy. That and Jason Sudeikis a big part of it, and he's obviously got a lot of stuff going. Oh, there's Jason right there. I'm sorry.
He's here.
Oh my goodness, what are the odds of that?
He's been sleeping in the studio.
I knew it the whole time. We had somebody back there. We thought it was just a homeless person.
Yeah, right. Right.
But no, he had that on. So he hosts it. How do you get sort of the idea or this event? So it's the musical background, obviously, with you.
Right.
I can tell by your personality, the comedy background, I think, is sort of there as well. And to come up with hey, let's do a variety show in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's just, I was 18, Jason was 19, 1995 when we met. And we met doing improv comedy. We were hired at Comedy Sports, an improv comedy club in Kansas City. We were hired at the same time, and we were being trained on all the games that we played, improv games we played together. So we were just together all the time, and we were fast friends. Jason also is a good singer, and he can play piano, and he can play drums. He's kind of good at everything. I know.
It's ridiculous.
And so,
acting,
he's good at everything. He can dance.
Yeah.
I can't dance.
Could
never
coach.
dance. Right? No. So it just Thundergong. I think the reason that people, after all these years, that it resonates with people so much is it's like, this guy who's become famous with his, friend from his teen years, and, we're best buds. We grew up here. It's a Kansas City thing, and we're doing the things that we like the most. If Jason wasn't famous, we would be doing this event.
Interesting.
Either way.
Yeah.
Probably just at a smaller place.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We would be being silly, making music together, and raising money to help amputees. So yeah, it's just the things we like doing. It's our biggest interests, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Music and comedy, and it's what bonded us to begin with way back when,
So who comes up with the Thunderberry sauce? Like, what's the idea behind that? How do you get there? Terry, was this you sitting around? Is it the laboratory that you guys go into to think of different things? The dry rubs, the sauces, what are we going to get? The taste test areas. Is this the laboratory where you guys came up with the Thunderberry sauce?
So we never quit dreaming. And I want to go back and touch on something. So my wife and I are sitting at home one year, and I don't know what year you guys were on TV. And I saw Sudeikis, what was it, 2020? Okay. So we're at home, it's on television, and we're seeing Thundergong, have no idea what it is. And we're watching and we're hearing about amputees and what Steps of Faith, and that's the first time we had heard of it. So we wrote a check right away, and we're like, this is amazing. This is an organization that's important. Down the road, Billy and I connected. And at that moment, I knew we were going to do something together. I was like, we're going to do something in barbecue, and we're going to bring some money in for Steps of Faith. This is a great organization. What these guys are doing, it's important work. And what Billy didn't tell you, I don't believe, is these things wear out, and they're not only expensive.
No, he did not say. No,
but
I don't. Not something I would think of. To be honest
Billy,
with you.
and I mean, you're on what number?
Oh gosh, this is my 5th or 6th leg in 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the thing is, this is an ongoing process that people need help with, and this is what's going on. So where did Thunderberry come from?
Yeah.
So the name is obvious, right? We're tying into Thunder Gong and what they're doing to raise money with that crazy show, which is amazing.
Yes.
And tickets are going super fast.
Where do you get tickets?
Thundergong.org, and as of when we started this interview,
Thundergong.org.
we were about 80% sold out.
So 20% of the tickets left at Uptown Theater for November 8th, thundergong.org.
Yes.
They
Great
went on
venue,
sale
too.
today
At 10 a.m.
at 10 a.m.
They're going.
Yeah, they're
They're
going.
going.
So get in while you can right now. But even as the tickets are sold out, I'm going to be able to go to Hy-Vee to get the Thunderberry sauce.
You
though.
are. You are. You can walk in our restaurants. You can walk in any Hy-Vee in the city, and you're going to see Thunderberry. You're also going to see Davina with Casey Current, who has jumped in here to help us promote this and tie it in to the Current.
That's cool that she's going to be at every single Hy-Vee just walking around
She
randomly.
is signing autographs
so
and
cool.
jerseys.
She's a real athlete. Really gets around.
so fast.
It's amazing. No, so, we knew, and we've got a lot of sauces. We do. We've got a ton of sauces, but the raspberry chipotle was always on the menu.
Okay.
It was going to come. And I didn't know what we were going to do with Billy. When we talked, I just said, something's coming. I don't know what it's going to be, a sandwich. But the sauce started to make a formation, and it was like, we're going to tie this together. And Davina wanted to get into it and help push the cause, and we couldn't have been more excited. And so we were in the kitchen a long time on the recipe, getting the balance right and all that. And I can remember at last year's Thunder Gong, we had everybody tasting it.
Oh, wow.
When Allison, Billy's wife, gave us the final okay, that was probably like, yeah, let's go.
There we go.
But, Jason's eating, tasting it, and he's like, hey, I'm no expert, but I think this is amazing. And I said, we're not experts either. We're just into whatever tastes good. And so that's the formula we came out with. That's the one that's on sale. And I will say this, 100% of the proceeds on that barbecue sauce are going to Steps of Faith. So this
How
is
about
all.
that?
That's awesome.
100%.
Yeah, sometimes it's a portion of the proceeds, which
Right.
is nice. That's cool. But every single
When
cent.
we were talking about this, I was like, hey, man, before we get any further, like, what's that? I trust you guys, but what's that look like, He was like, well, it's made with real raspberries. It's expensive to make. But like, no. I was like, oh, here we go. And he was like, but 100%. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible. And it's like, I grew up in Lenexa and Shawnee. And so Zarda has been kind of my favorite barbecue since I was a kid. And, a lot of the things I liked as a kid, I don't really like as an adult. Your palate changes. But Zarda remains my favorite.
I still eat SpaghettiOs constantly.
Yeah. But no, so it's really like, for me personally, it's like this amazing kind of dream come true to be able
So
to
cool.
partner with Terry and these guys. And just it's just incredible food. I mean, Kansas City barbecue, we know it's the best in the world. For my money, Zarda is my favorite. It's the best. So it's really like this amazing thing to partner with these guys to have this sauce. It's so fun, and it's a really fun and exciting way to like collaborate and be creative over this thing that we all love,
Yeah.
which is food and incredible barbecue, to raise money. It's really like, I'm just so excited about it.
So we're lucky here because, Terry, you brought in some wings.
We did.
And we're going to toss these wings in the Thunderberry sauce.
You're going to have some Thunderberry coming at you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
well,
going
let's
to toss
get that.
them up.
Let's get who's tossing it in the Thunderberry.
Mike Roncheto.
Mike Roncheto. Mike is going to be putting the Thunderberry sauce on these wings so we can eat them. And you guys have a lot of sauces. You know this, Terry. My wife and I, our favorite sauce is Little Ghost.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and every time I see him, like, oh, we got 2 more bottles of Little Ghost. We got the Little Ghost in the fridge, and we got 2 more in the cabinet.
Well, I'll tell you, that was my favorite sauce as well. Thunderberry has surpassed it. I'm
Okay.
eating it on everything.
It's legitimately, I know we're here to promote it, so we got to talk it up, but I mean, no blowing smoke. It is so good. It is
I
so
cannot wait.
good. Everybody that I know that has tried it is like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
It's really like amazing.
This has
sauce.
been the hardest 16 minutes. I've just
Yeah,
been
'cause-
looking at wings and smelling it,
See,
just sitting
You're
here.
like, get to it.
See, here's the thing. Billy and Terry, what you guys don't realize is, at 11 o'clock at noon, we typically have guests. And noon, when I'm talking to a guest, I'll be doing the interview, and Sterling eats.
I'll slink off and I'll
he's-
go
and he's
microwave my food.
Right, but he's very kind about then bringing it back in here and eating right there while I'm doing the interview.
Just in front of people.
Big
Yes,
hot
that's good.
sauce guy too.
So,
And
so I
you
can smell the hot sauce the whole
I'll-
time I'm in here, which is great. You do fish and you're fired.
Right.
But
No, it's chicken, broccoli, and sweet
Yes,
potatoes
I know.
typically,
But-
traditionally.
But now he has to sit there as I do with food. You're smelling the aroma of great food.
My
At
mouth
least this
is perspirating
yeah,
right now.
but at least this is good smelling food. Yours, not so much.
Yeah, nothing tears up an office more than heated up broccoli.
Yeah.
Come on,
with
dude.
hot sauce.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
trying to be
I mean-
semi-healthy. I've been trying to go on a healthy. Well, this is protein. This is good.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good
you're
here.
gonna
I
be
need the
great
iron.
here.
Yeah, come
we
on.
need the iron. Come on, man. You know.
The burnt-in beans and the fries might take you in another
I don't
direction.
care. I'm fine with
No,
that.
I'm
fine. It's
the
all about
burn-in
balance.
beans.
Yeah,
all
right,
about
right.
balance.
It's
burn-in-
splurge day.
The
I mean,
burn-in
even the
beans should
Drake
be
was
part of
back
the-
there. He got the wings early. He was
got
starting the
fries.
segment.
He came in and
eating
grabbed
food.
fries. It was like fries. Where are
I
your
He's
fries?
doing the hard work back
I
there,
look
guys.
back with all the buttons, and he has a wing in one hand.
Yeah, fries in the other. Drake's
that
Drake's
is-
on the
How
fries.
did you turn it on? I don't want to know.
He's
Nose.
using his elbows.
Nose, just no, and now there's sauce all over the board. So he tells everybody, "Do not eat at the board." And now look at him, just it's got all over his face and everything. It doesn't matter.
He's a mess.
That is awesome. Billy Brimblecombe, Terry Heyer with Zarda Billy with Steps of Faith. So can we try these?
Yeah,
they've been
absolutely.
tossed.
Yep, Mike's bringing them in.
Okay, we got some paper towels here too, because I'm just gonna dive right in. Make sure Sterling is the last one to get some. Matt Derrick is still hanging out here, which I love because here's the thing: Matt's been up at Chiefs camp and he
Yes.
gets to enjoy Zarda barbecue. He just had Zarda like 2 days ago.
He did. He
at Chiefs
did.
camp because you guys are feeding the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
For 37 years.
37. 1988.
Incredible.
William Jewell.
How does that start? Where Zarda's like, we're gonna feed the Chiefs.
You know, Lamar Hunt started a family night in 1988 with Marty Schottenheimer and had us come up and feed him in the gym with the players. It was Todd McNair's birthday. I remember
Whoa,
that.
Yes, Todd McNair.
Neil Smith was new on the scene. Derek Thomas was coming next year. And, it was just a big party. And when we were getting ready to move up to River Falls,
As you're telling the story, I'm gonna grab a bite.
you get in there.
Yes.
I'll buy you some time. Lamar Hunt, I was getting a red coat actually at the time. And Lamar Hunt looked at Carl Peterson and said, we need to get these guys up to River Falls and do, family night up there. And so that was how we did it. And it's an unbroken chain even through COVID that we've catered them 37 years. It's been amazing.
Keep going. Keep going.
I had
This is insane.
yeah, right? Oh my gosh.
This
so
is
good.
ridiculously
Yeah.
good.
So it's like
Insane. What?
so it's not too spicy, it's not
No.
too sweet, but it is both.
And you get
That's
the
what I
berry.
say. Yeah.
You get the chipotle
Yeah.
It's a nice balance.
with the wings from Zarda.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. That should be part of regular, everyday, healthy diet.
Hey, man, I say this all the time.
It's
and
one of the food groups right there.
It is a food group. But
Barbecue.
I say this. I'm friends with a lot of barbecue guys in town. There is no bad barbecue in Kansas City. And so I'm just saying, if you've got another barbecue that you bring home and you need to put some sauce on it, you could take the Thunderberry and jazz up whatever barbecue you're bringing home. That's
You're
all
a
I'm saying.
sorcerer. This is
We're gonna-
wizardry
yeah,
right
it's
now.
amazing.
We're gonna do this.
I've had it on
yeah.
all of the meats.
Yeah.
We did a press conference
Yeah.
at the beginning of June, and it was like all of the meats. I took it home, heated it up for my whole family, and like my kids who are my son is very picky.
Oh, my
he
kids will
turned
love
his
this.
back to me as he tried it, which was weird. And then he turns around with this shy smile. He's 12. It's amazing. It's good on everything.
Yeah.
It's one that my son loves barbecue.
Yeah.
And it's so he's like, "Oh, we having barbecue?" Yeah. So he gets his ribs, he gets, brisket and burn-ins and pulled pork. He'll do some of those things, but he's like, give me the ribs. I want the ribs and I want the
Yeah.
brisket. I'm like, that's my son.
So
You
good
got
on
lucky,
ribs.
Jason.
I know.
You
Thank
got
you.
lucky because now that chicken and broccoli combo, now this is getting put on it.
Hell yeah.
No more hot sauce.
Thank
This
you.
is getting put
You
on.
can
Thank
smell
you.
that.
Thunder
Yes.
gong,
and
Thunderberry.
and the in-laws in Louisville that always have Lil Ghost in the refrigerator
Yeah.
because if we're going to be there for a couple of weeks and having barbecue, they will have Lil Ghost because
Absolutely.
now they'll have this. They'll
all
have the
about
Thunderberry
options.
sauce. Yes, 100%. Like it's they've got. It's interesting the barbecue sauce that the in-laws have.
Yeah. I
Because
bet.
when we go there, like no, I'm not going to have the generic stuff that you
That's
buy from
right.
the store. I'm not going to ruin the barbecue with
No,
generic
man.
stuff. No, I'm getting the good stuff, man. Heck yeah.
And I'll tell you on these wings, we just catered the Chiefs on
my
Wednesday.
goodness.
We took 1,500 wings, wiped them out.
Oh my god.
Karloftis through the line. 3 times. 3 times through.
Now I got to know
Big
this.
man.
Yeah, he is a big. He 1,500 probably for him, right?
Right. I don't know how many
Yeah.
he ate, but I do know one player came up, and I can't remember who it was, that ordered 30 of them at one shot. Just one
For
shot.
him.
I'll take 30.
For him.
Yeah.
Big boy, sturdy guy, or
Yeah.
was it a
Yeah.
cornerback?
Harrison
No,
Butker.
wasn't a cornerback.
Harrison Butker, oddly enough. Yeah, it was. That's weird. It's Gardner Minshew. Although that would make
That
sense
actually
if it
would
was,
track.
if it was
He was
Gardner.
through there. Yeah, we saw Gardner.
He would have had to hunt and kill the meat first.
Right.
He would have been the one. I killed this animal. Can you make this
Yep.
into a wing, please? That'd be great. I do have to know this because I always get in discussions about wings. You know, if it's when I was a child, I would always eat the drums.
Yeah.
And as I'm an adult with a more advanced palate, you know that the flats are
Yeah.
a clearly superior wing to the drums. And as NFL players that consume massive amounts, are they drum or are they flat fans?
You know, it's funny. It was a good mix. There were plenty of players who just said, "I'll take 10, I'll take 12, I'll take 15." But there was a lot, and even coaches that were saying, "I want 10, but I want flats only."
flats.
So you're going through and you're sorting out and bringing flats.
That's
yeah.
why they're champions.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why they're champions. That's
What's
why
your
they're coached
go-to?
so well.
What's your favorite?
flat. Yeah.
The guys. I mean,
Flat's my favorite, but it's messier. For radio,
but there's more meat there. It's people look at the drums. Oh, look how big it is. More meat. No, there's
Yeah.
more meats on the flats.
But I will say with the drums, you get the little crispy parts on the little.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
look, I'm not going to turn down the drum.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a preference.
I'm
I
equal
will-
opportunity. I'm
Yes.
eyeing both right now. I want them all.
As you should. Billy, I was thinking about this as Terry was talking about having to get new prosthetics because they wear down, and what you've done for different people around the area and different areas with Steps of Faith. Before you went through this that changed your life, was there a part of you that thought, you know what, in my life, I want to do something to give back. I want to do something to enrich other people's lives. This is a calling or something, and this was the opportunity? Or going through this created in your mind I want people to have a different experience than maybe I had, so
Yeah.
what can I do?
Yeah, I mean it feels like I hesitate to say it because I don't know why. It feels like cheesy or whatever. But before I lost my leg, and even before I had cancer, I wasn't like I was volunteering or anything like that, but I did always have a heart for people with disabilities, particularly mobility-related issues. Ironically,
Yeah.
I became one of those people, or is it? And so, yeah, it was really a thing where, like I said, I had to raise $30,000 to cover half of my first robot leg. And Jason and great friends of ours, his wife at the time, Kay Cannon, my friend Corey Master, his wife Monique Madrid, Ed Goodman, all these people, my old band Blackpool Lights. We got together at Record Bar and raised a bunch of money in 2006. I told my girlfriend the next day, who became my wife, not that day.
Great decision, Billy.
But thank you. I agree. I said, wouldn't it be cool if we did that again for somebody else? That didn't happen for a while. And again, living in Nashville, and just one day I was asked years later, brand new baby at home, to talk to somebody that had just lost their leg. And I loved it so much. I was like, I wish that could be my job. And the guy who owned the prosthetic place where I was a patient in Nashville got wind of this, and he was basically, I learned that he had established a 501c3, so that this was a tax-exempt idea before I was in place. It was not a nonprofit is very much a business. A lot of people don't realize that. Nonprofit is the tax denomination, okay? So when you go to Zarda and you give them your money, they give you amazing Thunderberry wings. When you go to Steps of Faith and you give us your money, we help someone else walk or get a prosthetic arm, okay? So this was offered to me. What if you came on and built this thing and you did it? And so that's how so it was really like the idea. I always had a heart for this kind of thing. Then I became a disabled person. I don't feel disabled very often because I have access to the right tools. I've got a great robot leg, okay? That's what my kids call it. That's what we call it. That's what Steps of Faith does, is we just get people access to these tools that have no access otherwise.
Visiting with Billy Brimblecombe from Steps of Faith and Terry Heyer from Zarda Barbecue. It is thundergong.org, November 8th, the 9th annual. I was going to add 3 years for some reason. I was going to say 12th. 9th annual. In a few years, let's meet and have this conversation again about the 12th
you ate
annual.
3 wings. That's
There
what
it is.
you're
I'm
doing.
adding 3 to everything right now. So do we know what the lineup and things will be? Is that going to be announced later? Is that a secret or?
Are you playing?
It's both. Yeah. I my band Summer Breeze is the house band, and so I get to
Seals and Croft. Is it yacht rock or?
Well, Summer Breeze started as a yacht rock band, and named after the Seals and Croft song. Yes,
perfect.
And so we're playing Knuckleheads September 27th. If you'd like to come see a tribute to yacht rock, please come. Tickets are on sale now.
Yes.
SummerBreezeKC.com. But yes, but at Thundergong we're playing. We're playing songs with Jason. We're playing songs most years with Will Forte. These friends of ours that are, and maybe this year we've not announced that yet.
You said most years. We don't know if it's this year.
Every year so far, and safe to say maybe he'll be there again this year. But yeah, but then we're also playing, with Winona Judd or Ben Harper or Weird Al Yankovic or Flavor Flav or you name it throughout the years. So their music, but it's also always these kind of like fun, unexpected duets, like last year. Cristo Fernandez from Ted Lasso, who plays Danny Rojas, and Weird Al, we were doing the song Happy, the Pharrell Williams song.
Yeah. So good.
But then halfway through, Weird Al came out, and then it morphed into his parody of that song, Tacky. Or it'll be Sudeikis and Winona Judd doing I've Had the Time of My Life from the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. It's just...
Did he lift her...
Did that? He didn't in the past, but you never know.
I know,
what could
right?
happen this year
That's
if
why you
she's
got to be there.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a always kind of expect the unexpected, and it's always like fun and just great music, and a lot of laughs, and we do we've gone on sale today with just Jason's name. We do know some people that are going to be there, and then but I have a lot to still fill in the blanks.
Okay,
that's how it always is. Even the last minute. I mean, many years, and while this is fun, it is not fun for my central nervous system. The week of, Jason delivers me some insane news of someone that's coming, and then it's like, okay, and then my band is like, I'm like, hey guys, I know you just learned 35 songs. Here's 4 more.
Yes,
to play
and they're like,
in 2 days.
If
let's
you
do
need
it.
a fill-in drummer, I'm your guy.
Okay, I'll remember that.
If
I'll
you
remember
need that, I'm your guy. And clearly, yacht rock. Look at this. This is the yacht rock.
You're
man.
very smooth vibes today. Even pineapples on your shorts.
Yeah, but they're upright. Okay, they're not upside down. Just so we.
He's a vibes
make
guy.
that
That's what he brings
clear.
to the show. That's really it. And he's like, you know what vibes? Let's vibe today.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, we're going to do sports, but if you want to vibe, that's fine
You
too.
can vibe.
We'll do all of that.
Does that mean drunk?
Yes.
Okay,
That does,
There's a couple beers in the fridge. I almost cracked one open. It's Friday.
All right. Is
Sweet
that like
potatoes,
Pepsi
broccoli,
can
beer.
like the? It's just like
It's like a
fake-
koozie.
Yeah,
Basically.
really.
So you have no idea what's in there.
Yeah, it's Schlitz.
Yes. it's the book War and Peace, but inside it's actually a Mad Max comic. You know,
right.
Billy Brimblecombe, Terry Heyer. So thundergong.com or .org.
Yep.
Thundergong.org. But if people just want to help out Steps of Faith, how can they do that?
You can do that at the Thundergong site, or the organization website is stepsoffaithfoundation.org.
Steps
And
of
so
Faith.
people always ask, how can they help if they can't come to the show, or how can they help along with that? We're helping people nationwide with prosthetic limbs. And it's the amazing men and women that are the doctors, the prosthetists that are helping them. So the best way that anybody else can help, just donate. The cliches about fundraising are true. All goes in the same bank account. We have people that give us an amazing amount of money every month or every year. And then we also have somebody that gives us $1.12 every month from Indonesia.
Amazing.
Wow.
Both mean a lot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Terry, I had somebody text and ask, and I'm glad they asked because doing a better job than I am. The sauce. Their question was, is this a limited time, or is this now a part of Zarda's sauce, collection?
It's great question. No, we started this thing with Steps of Faith, and our goal is to say, hey, this is just getting us started. We're going to have this sauce out all the time.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's going to, it'll be evergreen. This thing's going to
Amazing.
run
Forever. Good
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Don't take it away from me.
Yes, that's
Don't rip this from me.
the Thunderberry sauce. We've got the wings. The
Now that
Thunderberry
you know,
sauce.
you can't unknow the
Yeah,
Thunderberry.
I cannot undo
I
this
need
now.
this. How did I ever live without it?
Is it better to have loved and lost, or to have never
You're
loved
my
at all?
dealer now.
This
you
is the
are.
one. Yes, you're the raspberry sauce dealer. You need to do that. So that's going to be at Hy-Vee and at Zarda.
That's right.
All the locations, and 100% goes to Steps of Faith.
100%. Yep. So you know what? If you haven't had it yet, I think you're going to love it.
Yeah.
It is a fun sauce. Travis Kelce said, when I told him about it, he said, man, that sounds almost too adventurous for me. But he had it, he loved it, and here we go. So I think Kansas City's going to love it.
That is awesome. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Cannot wait. Thundergong again. Thundergong.org. You better get on that if you're going to head there, because again, 80% of the tickets sold out. Uptown Theater, November 8th. They came on sale today. And right now, about 20% left for people to go and watch this variety show with bands and music and comedy and everything else, and all going to a great cause. Billy Brumblcombe, Steps of Faith, Terry Hyers-Arda, thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll take a time out. We'll come back, and boy, we are going to take the show down a couple of notches. Mick Schaefer is going to be in here. More Zone next. So many things going on here. Oh, man.
Are we on air right now?
Yeah, I am. You're eating still. Shocker. I'm on air talking. You're eating.
I'm hungry.
I know. I stuffed my mouth so much with the Zarda barbecue in the break there. Mick Schaefer's with us.
Get some sunflower seeds if you're hungry, man.
Okay,
take a bite of wing and just put it in your cheek and just let it marinate there.
This is way better
Sit
than
there
my
and
sunflower seed debacle.
Just
This
saturate
is
that thing. Just do that a little bit.
Now I'm getting some fries and dunking them in the beans and using it as like a spoon. But I can eat my spoon now.
So here's what we're going to do. 913-912-4810 is the text line. All right, 913-912-4810 is the text line. The first person that texts in a receipt, don't put your card number or anything unless you want it, that's fine. A receipt of a Thundergong ticket. If you have purchased or are going to purchase, the first person to text in a receipt that you purchased Thundergong tickets, we have a Zarda barbecue gift bag. There are 2 bottles of the Thunderberry sauce and a $50 Zarda gift card here. So that's 913-912-4810. Text in and show that you purchased a ticket to Thundergong. And the first person that does that, this is going to be waiting for them, this 2 bottles of Thunderberry sauce and a $50 gift card at Zarda for that. So if you're going to Thundergong, boom, text in right now, 913-912-4810. First one to text in to show that the receipt of that. And you got a $50 gift card and 2 different bottles of the Thunderberry sauce. Mick, were you able to try the Thunderberry sauce?
Not yet.
Oh, you jerk.
It's electric.
The day's still young here, boys.
Yeah, that's right.
Your life will be pre-Thunderberry and post-Thunderberry.
So I have their, was it the Apple Harvest?
Okay.
They have in my fridge right now, and
They have so many
I put
different
that on
types
everything.
of sauce. See, the Apple Harvest is good to put on. So, like when you're just smoking the meats or making what my wife and I put on, like if we are just getting generic barbecue or somebody's making it, or we're having a barbecue sandwich that we're just making with like just chicken in the air fryer or something like that. Little Ghost is our go-to. The Little Ghost from Zarda is our absolute go-to.
Like as in ghost pepper?
It's got a
kick to it?
The kick is like 3 or 4 seconds later.
I
the taste is good.
love that.
Spicy.
And
I
then
love
a
hot.
small,
Yeah, me too. Big hot guy.
Dude, Lil Ghost, a small kick right at the end. It's not like, oh my God, this is overbearing, and it's not like I can't even taste it, but it's our favorite.
And I don't go ahead.
This is the most chaotic room I've ever been in, I
brought
think,
a
for
dog.
radio.
I'm
There's
sorry.
a dog here too.
There's a dog in here and an animal dog. Like, there's both.
Well, how about this? And you have you ever had an intern wear his name on his shirt?
No, not once has anybody ever gifted me a Houdini shirt.
No.
Keystone the intern has a Keystone Light shirt.
Shout out my dad. He got me this for my birthday.
How about that?
That's awesome.
So-
cool, Dad.
I was like,
So
Dad, I'll wear
after
it.
you were named that?
Yeah, because
Okay,
my
so
birthday was
recently.
this summer. That would
Okay,
be
yeah.
really
Cool,
like a
Dad.
strange
Odd.
coincidence.
That would be crazy if your dad just gives you randomly throughout your entire life. He has given you a shirt of different beer throughout your entire life, starting at age 1. And this happened to be Keystone Light year, and you just happen to be nicknamed Keystone the intern.
So
He's now dog handler, the intern.
Yeah.
and
Yes,
there's
that's
a
right.
dog. It's a puppy in here, and there's a whole bunch of food. And this dog, I feel bad for.
I feel
it
bad
really
for
wants.
this. I know how this dog feels right now. I understand how the dog feels when people in the studio are eating around you and you aren't able to eat. I get it. Dog, I'm with you, man. You and I mind melding. Kindred spirits, this dog and I.
So this is my son's dog. This is Moose. He's an English cream
So
golden
you're-
retriever.
You're a grandfather.
I'm a grand dog dad.
Yes,
so
grand dog
whatever.
dad.
And so
Granddad
he
dog.
interns right down the road. His last hour is right now of internship of the summer before him and Moose go back to K-State.
Oh,
right? And
that's
so-
cool. Like, we wouldn't want him to intern here.
No, not at all.
That's cool.
Well, he wants to have a future.
Keystone, how you feeling
But
about
yeah,
that
you'll be
comment?
great, I'm sure.
Anyway, go ahead. He's
Yeah,
interning a
radio and soccer.
Is
That's the key.
41
five.
No, we don't even have internships. That's how little future we offer. So no internships whatsoever.
Final hour of his internship is happening right now.
And so he was like, "Can you bring Moose by at noon on your way to radio? Everybody wants to see him." And I'm like, "Absolutely." So I took him out running errands. I took him by KSHB 41.
Yeah.
He brought his milkshake. Brought all boys and girls
Yes,
to the
they
yard.
do.
Everybody was hanging out with Moose there. He is shedding his puppy hair, so he is leaving a trace everywhere he goes.
that's
I
gonna be fun.
apologize. Took him on a couple other errands. We got coffee. and he got a pup cup. It was a great day, and I went there at noon, and my son texted. He's like, "Yeah, they said I can't have the dog." I'm like, "Wait, what?" It's like, well, they catered in a bunch of food, and they figured it wasn't great. I'm like, well, I'm going to radio where they have Zarda.
So,
but I guess your internship's more important than what do I? Do I have an internship here? Basically, feels like it.
Yeah,
I need a
absolutely.
nickname. And so that's the story.
Joseph.
And that's why I'm here with the dog. And hopefully, a little after 1, he'll show up and take his dog.
what if your nickname is Joseph?
That'd be.
Can we
that would
nickname
be
you Joseph the intern?
I thought Mick was your nickname.
It is.
That's the
Joseph's
joke.
my real name.
Yeah, that was the joke of nicknaming him.
I was just trying to be I was trying to be
back
dumb
to
on
eat. Go
purpose.
back to
but
eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
On
back to
purpose.
eating. This is way more fun. My mind is on this food.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna open up my sandwich because one more more smells from Moose, who's chilling right now. You're a good dog handler, Keystone.
I think we need to know what Moose's thoughts are on the Thunderberry sauce.
Listen,
His-
he'll be
his
drinking
thought-
plenty of sauce here starting tonight, probably going back to college. He'll be drinking Keystone Light. Probably.
Yeah, probably yes. I was going to say if I would guess if you get his thoughts on that, Mick/son might be seeing his thoughts a couple of hours from now.
Exactly.
His thoughts. This is what he
On
thought
the
of the
drive to Manhattan.
This is what he thought of the Thunderberry sauce. He loved it. Went right through him.
In Topeka.
He wants Topeka to see how it is. So the next dog in Topeka will be like, "Is this Thunderberry sauce?" That's. One, this is not my territory, so I feel like I need to leave here. But is that a bear? Is that raspberry? Is that a raspberry chipotle type? I think that's a raspberry chipotle.
I taste onions.
Yeah. Was that a wing? I think it was a chicken wing. Yeah, I think that was a barbecue chicken with raspberry and chipotle. Yeah, that's what it
So
was.
he's
in
seen
Topeka.
a lot of people this whole morning. So
Oh, my
hopefully
goodness.
he's kind of worn out, and there he is just biting on his leash. He's so young; he didn't know what a leash is or what walks are supposed to
Yeah.
accomplish.
You silly dog! Why you can't bite that?
He will bite everything.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
doggy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll get his own tail and go to town.
Are you more excited for your son or the dog to be out of the house?
This son we like. This kid we like. He's the oldest. He's grown up, mature, 22. We have more of an adult relationship. So
Great. Yeah.
sad to see both of them go. We want him to come back at Christmas.
The dog.
Moose, yes, and be trained and be like, don't
You
pees and poops outside all
so
the time.
You think that's going to happen at college? Isn't that typically where people go to untrain what their
That's
parents have
true,
trained
I
them?
guess.
We've trained you all your life. Now you go to college and you come back. What happened? I was free for the
Yeah,
first
I don't know.
time in my life.
He'll live in a house with 5 22-year-olds. I'm sure. Yeah.
Moose is going to put on his
Some
freshman
maturity.
15 when he gets
Yeah, he
there
is.
to Manhattan. He's going to come back.
Probably
and
more than
He
that.
has grown so
Yeah.
much. It's beer. You know what I mean? I mean, it's freshman 15.
Why is his nose pierced?
Is that a tattoo?
Is that a tattoo?
That's odd, man. Could
be the new
On the small
mascot.
of his back, it's a dolphin jumping through a hoop. That's weird.
Could be a new mascot.
Could be, yeah.
Is that a barbed wire around his arm?
Is that
That's
a
still
mom?
a
It's his
thing?
dad.
That's still a thing?
Why does Moose have an ankle monitor on?
What's your name, son? Moose. I want your real, a.k.a. Moose. He's also known as, all right, we'll take a timeout, come back, and continue rolling. Chiefs are in action tomorrow, I promise you that, taking on the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk a little bit about that. The Royals in action tonight against the Minnesota Twins. Joe Ryan to the mound for Minnesota. Seth Lugo for the Royals. The Twins and Royals, same record since the All-Star break. Even though the Twins sold off 11 players.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, so both 3-3 since the All-Star break. Twins just took 2 of 3.
Since
the trade deadline. Sorry.
Okay,
Since the
trade
trade deadline. Did I say All-Star break before?
Yeah, so Royals have to have a better record.
Yeah, so since the trade deadline, they're both 3-3. Since the Twins traded off 11 players and the Royals got some players, that's how it
That's
works.
a small sample size.
Yeah, the Twins just beat the Tigers 2 of 3, and the Royals getting ready for their 9-game stretch that could decide if they're going to be still in the hunt or
Big
if
nine games, yeah.
full focus to the Chiefs. More zone coming up next. This has been a day around here at the office because Stan Weber is walking around. And so the previous break, the break right after Matt Derrick heading into the noon hour, we're talking to Billy Brimblecombe from Steps of Faith and Terry Heyer from Zarda. We're getting everything set up. They got the wings and everything, so we're talking about that. And they're going to put the wings into Thunderberry sauce. And then at the break after that segment, we were all eating as much as we could and making sure we got some food before, the heathens went and tore through it back in the break room. And then this break, Stan Weber's here just hanging out. So we're talking
I brought
to
Stan, too. I'm sorry. He's on a different leash as
He's
well.
now-
I was supposed to drop him off with my son as well.
He's almost house trained.
Yes.
So Stan is Moose is a little further away than Stan, but Stan is almost house trained, so that's good. Stan's here, and of course we talked football.
I have
Stan Weber's here. We're talking football.
had the most food. The most of it. I've had,
You've had so many wings, dude.
and then I had a sandwich and fries that Matt Derrick brought me. He's like, who are these fries for? I'm like, oh, no, me. I just didn't have the hands to carry the sandwich, the beans. I did bring Mick a sandwich, though, because I'm a generous man.
Appreciate that. It's gone.
I just want people to picture this, by the way. Sterling just said something that is a perfect description so people can picture this. Theater of the mind for radio. Sterling had so much food in front of him that Matt Derrick asked if something there was for somebody else. You've brought so much stuff. This must be for some. I don't want to take this because clearly some of this is for somebody else. And Sterling said, no, this is all mine. This is all for me.
It was the receptacle, the fries for because they have great
You
fries
did use
and
the fries
beans.
for the burn-in beans.
Yeah, it was a great move. Jason, you know about that, right, Drake? Drake, you big fan of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, it's like
Anybody do the fries in the Wendy's Frosty?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Me
I'm
either. It's
sorry.
not as
That's
good.
mixing
I like it.
dessert and the main
It's
meal.
weird.
No thanks.
I know
Thank
it's
you.
weird. I know it's weird.
with
I like
you.
it.
No, I'm on Team Jason with
Yeah,
this.
thank
one.
you.
no.
I
You do
appreciate
it for the
that.
baked beans. That's the.
I haven't
yeah.
done it with the baked
Yeah.
beans though. I need to do that. I need to do that with the.
Hey,
It's
hang
the
around-
burn-in beans. It's not the baked beans. It's the burn-in beans. Okay,
Hang
get it
around
right.
me, pal. You'll learn some stuff.
I don't know that I want to. So I learned about smelling salts, and that was a mistake. So
Potatoes and ice cream just don't sound good together.
No,
I didn't
I
think it
love
would either.
them separately.
I didn't think it would either. But then I tried it, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It's actually pretty good. I
If-
know what people are talking
If
about.
the British had these beans,
Yeah?
I would be totally in for breakfast. But they don't.
Do the British have beans for breakfast?
Yeah.
That's like their thing.
I don't know. I thought their thing was biscuits. I thought biscuits were their thing. I
like
thought tea was their
Beans
thing.
and tea. It's
I
like
thought
a
losing
normal
wars
thing.
to the Americans were their thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's the French. But
I'm pretty sure we won.
We won a big war
It was a
against
whole
them.
revolution that we had.
which one?
One of the
Which-
biggest wars we've
which
ever
one?
had. Which revolution?
They've been on our side, so have the French,
Yeah.
the last two world
Yeah,
wars.
I mean,
Yeah,
we've
it's kinda
They've learned their
mine.
lesson.
Yes. We had a falling out. We are now friends again.
Yes.
We just moved out of the house. We're
You
on
just
our own
needed
now.
Winston Churchill,
breakup.
I believe.
It was best for both parties. They get
Yes,
along so much
there's a
better now.
breakup. Yes, we're now co-parenting the citizens. And
Are
and
we
everybody's happy.
co-parenting France now? Is that what it is?
The world, really. The world.
We're co-parenting Meghan Markle and what's his name?
had I to do it over again, I would have said, let's have them in at 1 o'clock on Friday with all the barbecue and everything. So therefore, when that hour's over, I can go take a nap.
Hey, Mick, you want to go take a nap together?
You guys, you guys can certainly go take a nap. It's up to you.
Do you
that's
want
fine.
to? Or
I'm not surprised you asked me that.
what's wrong with that?
Because he looks cuddly. The dog is gone. Moose
I
is
don't
out.
mean same
Moose is gone.
room
Why didn't
or
you?
bed, but
Hey,
Well, what does
Mick,
together mean then?
like same time.
Oh, okay.
Or same room and whatever you want.
why didn't your son came and got the dog but didn't want to come up and hang out on the air? Didn't
well,
want to talk about
I'll bring
the-
a dog in here, but not one of my kids.
It makes sense. Yeah, there's you don't want that. I'm going to bring something I love into the studio. All right, the dog first. All right, because the dog is a little more house trained than your
A little bit more.
Your
Don't
son
pee
was nice. I
on
don't believe
the
all the
rug.
mean things you've said about him. He seems like a nice kid.
Oh, yeah, he's grown up now. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's great. The other one, oh, man.
Yeah, I know, right? But remember when this one was like the other one, and you're like, oh, can I take you to Manhattan right now? Oh, my goodness. Is he a sophomore now in junior at K-State?
He's a senior.
Like I said, is he a senior now at K-State? But
If he's 22 and a sophomore, I'd have some questions.
Yeah, but I mean, it's college. Getting out in 4 years
true.
is like leaving a party at 10. You're just getting
Well,
started.
I probably now, eligibility-wise, most sophomores are about 21 or 22.
Good point. Yes. Did K-State give him an extra year of eligibility to go to school?
They did. They did.
You actually have 7 to play for.
You can. Yeah, you can go as long as you want in
just
college.
Yeah, as long as you pay.
4 on this payroll.
Yeah, for a
They don't really
nominal
stop
fee.
you, I guess, from perpetually going.
No,
do
if
they?
you want
They're
to pay
just
for more classes,
12
go get 'em.
years, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to get in first. I mean, they do have standards to where they make sure that there's a certain level that you will be at before they will even allow you to take classes there.
Do
Sterling,
they still do ACTs? I got a 29.
Yes.
They do.
I got a 29.
Did
Felt
he ask
pretty
that
good
just to
with
say that I got to?
It's exactly why he asked it and answered his own question.
Do they-
just say what his score
Do they
was?
still do the vertical jump? Because I was a 37. But do they still do the
They
vertical
still
jump
do
at the
it.
combine? I'm not sure. I think they do. But like NBA does vertical, right? I got a 37 when I was in high school. But do they do the 40-yard dash? I was a 4.41. But do they still do the 40? Do they do the ACT? Because no, you got a 29 on the SAT, right?
Love someone as much as Sterling loves himself.
He got it
Well,
mixed
I
up. It was a
mean,
29
who else
on
is
the
gonna love me but
29
Just
on
one of
the
the
SAT.
vertical.
It's the SAT. He got 29 on the SAT.
Probably vertical too. They're probably both kind of hand in hand.
29 on the vertical.
That's
Actually,
not a bad vertical.
It's not a
That's
bad
fine.
vertical
It's
at
fine
all. I
vertical.
think I would settle right now for a 29-inch vertical at any point in my life.
Still got rim last night. I tipped it. I
I know you
played
were playing
basketball last
basketball.
night?
tipped
Yes.
the rim. Yeah.
Was Jeff Jadia there with you?
He was not. I played the J yesterday. It was great,
nice.
great runs actually. Some
Yeah.
high school kids. Mick, my ego is now through the roof. I know I had been so down and just really down on myself.
It's the first thing he told me when I walked in
Some
the door.
high school kids.
Nick's first thing he
were-
told me when
we
I
were
walked in
playing,
today for the show.
18-ish. One was 21. One was in college.
Oh.
But they go, "Did you play basketball in college?" I peaked. I've peaked.
And then
That
that's
was
when
the
they said,
greatest compliment
No,
I've
Nick.
ever heard.
And then that's when they said, okay, you said, no, we were just seeing if you were a liar or not. Okay, we can trust you now. We'll take him on our team. We can trust him. He's not a liar. He said no, so he's a trustworthy fella. Is that what it was? It's the first thing he told me when I walked in the door.
Sterling doesn't need a dog. He's his own best friend.
Seriously, man.
I am a dog. Oh,
Sterling's compliments wait at the window for him to get home from work. There he is. There he is. Sterling, you're so great.
well, Nick, again, without
been a fun
confidence,
show.
all I have is my good looks.
And his humility.
That before. Yeah.
Yeah, and his humility. That's all he has. Mick, God, I don't know that I want to talk sports, but I guess we'll talk sports.
Okay. Which sports?
So we're going to talk Royals this segment,
Okay.
and we'll talk Chiefs the next segment, and we'll talk cuts after that.
Okay.
Maybe Chiefs, maybe sound bites. I'm not sure. Let's talk Royals right now. 9 games. I said yesterday this is a 9-game stretch to see if they're still in it. It's not a 9-game stretch to decide if they make the playoffs, because you can go 9-0 and still miss the playoffs. It's a 9-game stretch to decide, are they still going to be in the race? You go 5-4 over these 9 games, a little rough.
They'll still be in it, though. I mean, we keep setting these
realistically,
deadlines and throwing out these series, how important they're. It's not even mid-August yet.
I know, but we said that in like it's not even mid-April.
We said
it's not even May.
We said last
not
month.
Even June.
We said last month this team ain't making the playoffs. We said 2 months ago this team ain't making the playoffs.
Well, I mean, there's still 4 games
These
out.
are like the
so-
TPA reports in
but I mean,
Office Space.
they're
TBS. Are we
but
putting cover letters on
they've
this?
gained ground, right, in that regard.
They've actually lost a game in the wild card since the trade deadline.
But they've
surprisingly,
how
but
many
they've
teams
gained.
have they passed?
Yeah, but
that's the biggest thing.
Right. So they went from All-Star break and then trade deadline. I think All-Star break they had 4 teams to pass, and now they have 3 teams
Would you
to
say
pass.
Since the trade deadline?
So trade deadline,
That's not even like a week.
I
It's
know,
a week.
right,
Never
right,
mind.
for
What are we
sure,
doing here?
for sure.
And they played 2 good teams on the road.
100%.
Sign me up for 3-3 against those guys.
That's what I'm with you on that one.
And the Red Sox are in a mode of like they're just. I mean, they can do no wrong. And so I felt like just salvaging that one game was like okay, good, because they lost 7 in a row to them, and those guys had won.
Because you also
how many in a
showed
row?
that you were, on the level.
And
Because that middle game you
competitive.
could have won.
They're scoring runs even that series, even when they were
They won the
losing.
first game. You had somewhat of a comeback in the 8th, but they took care of the first game. You took care of the third game, and in the middle game, bullpen here or there could
both
have
teams had
gone
chance
one way or
to
another.
win,
So that's a 2 out of 3. That's how it happens in a series when it's 2 closely, evenly matched teams.
How concerned are you
Very.
tonight against Minnesota, who played solid ball, yet we know their team is decimated, but they're going up against Joe Ryan.
Yeah, I don't like that
And
they're
I don't
facing
like
Joe
Joe
Ryan.
Joe Ryan is in 9 starts against the Royals. Anyone take a guess
He's,
in 9 starts what he is against the
I
I'm
Royals?
bet
going to
he's-
say he's 5-1 with like a 2.2.
I was going to say sub 3 ERA, probably around a 2 ERA, and maybe like 7-1.
You guys aren't even close. You're semi-close on the wins. He is 7-0, never lost, 7-0,
Never lost.
with an ERA of 1.3
Okay. Yeah.
and 59 strikeouts in those.
Have the Royals faced him this season? I cannot remember.
Yes, and he threw 7 scoreless, gave up 2 hits.
Yeah, but they got 2 hits though, so that's something to build on.
So that's my concern. Is it's not like there's an outlier in there. He's never given up more than 2 runs against the Royals in 9 starts. Like he is just
Never.
consistently dominant. Like you would
what he
expect to
does.
have one dud. Like Garrett Crochet's had a dud thrown in there, but Joe Ryan somehow has not.
Well, I don't know. Ty France never had a dud, and then all of a sudden they go to Toronto, and Ty France does nothing in the series. So maybe this is all. Maybe the Royal killers are now killed. Ty France, you had to get over. You had to slay that demon, right? You had to get that out of the way, which they did in Toronto, and now Joe Ryan's just next. It's just the next one in line for them to get past. 7-1 winners tonight.
What's interesting is you think he would be someone the Royals would be good against because he's in the strike zone a lot. He doesn't throw many balls, 94th percentile in walk rate, so you know he's keeping it around the strike zone. The Royals don't take walks, so for them that's almost a good thing. That means they're not swinging outside of the strike zone against other guys. Honestly, you traditionally speaking, at least, you'd think Joe Ryan would be a good matchup for KC. Traditionally, he's not.
Yeah,
I would say a great stretch in these 9 games. Take 2 or 3 from the Twins, and then
6-0.
5-1. You do 2 of 3 from the White Sox, maybe sweep
So
the
6
Nationals.
and so
or
6
7
and 3,
would,
6 and 3 to 7 and 2.
would be great. 6-3 would be great. It would be great. I know these
I
teams
said
are
7-2.
2 of them are playing below
Yeah.
400 ball, but it's baseball. Give me a break. I mean, you can't expect to sweep anybody. But if you win all 3 series, would you settle out of court right now?
To just for
Because
6
that would
wins.
get them back above 500.
I wouldn't settle out of court for a 6 and 3 stretch
Oh, I
because
would.
there's only 38 games remaining after that, and there'll probably still be 4 games out around there because they're still chasing teams that could also go 6 and 3. I think 7 and 2 is what to be real. Like if these 9 games, there's still 4 games out with now 38 games to play. I think it's even more dire straits.
Judge, don't listen to my client. He is going to settle out of court. He's
I represent
accepting this plea.
I
right
represent
now.
myself.
Right now.
He's accepting this plea.
I'm
No,
representing
We've already
myself.
chalked up a
it's
loss
6
tonight
and 3.
to the Joe
He's
Ryan.
delusional,
I'm
Your
representing
Honor.
myself. No,
He's delusional. He does not know where he's going to be
Your
at.
Honor,
Bailiff,
Your Honor,
bailiff.
I fire my counsel. Thank you, firing my counsel. I will settle right now out of court. I'm not taking this thing to trial. Are you crazy?
You'd be like
6 and 3.
You'd be like Ted Bundy and represent yourself.
I'm not settling right now. No,
That's
I am
the only
taking
way
it.
you'll be
Actually,
like
I am taking it to trial. I'll represent myself. I'm taking it to trial. We'll win. I've got enough evidence. Okay, we'll win. And if we don't, that's fine. You're talking about maybe a month difference in jail. All right, 6 and 3, or if I don't settle, what's 5 and 4?
What if they went 4 and 5?
So they'll.
Well, then to me, they'll be in almost the same spot. Again, this is why I think it's so late in the season. And the games, because again, I did the math the other night, Mick. Every game they play, they have one less game to play.
So I would say
That's true.
I would settle right now, absolutely, for 6-3 this 9 games, and basically go 5-4 the rest of the way in 9-game chunks. You said there's 38 games left after this 9-game series?
Yeah.
So that would be basically 4 9-game chunks plus 2 more games.
Yeah, so there'd be
and so
20 wins.
that would put them 7 games above 500 the rest of the way.
So that would be a total of
Give
these
it an
6
eighth
and
because you have 2 more. 8 games
wins,
more, and that would put them 83 and 79.
I don't love that.
No, it'd be higher than that.
Well,
wouldn't it?
26 wins.
It'd be 7 games above 500 the rest of the way. What are they? 1 game under right now?
They're 1 game under.
There'd be 6 games over, so it'd be 84 and 78.
I like that a little better.
That's
Well,
still
it's getting better.
It's still 2 games out.
It's what?
It's still 2 games out of making the wild card, I think.
Of the
I
expected.
think
You
think
86
so? You think
is
86?
probably.
I think it's
86
switched.
was last year, and now if the Yankees
That's
keep
good. That's good baseball. You think that?
Oh, yeah,
all the
right.
teams in front of them are going to play?
No, I would love if that's the case. Yes, I would settle. I would settle
For
if it's 6-3 and then 5 wins the rest of the way
Out of
every
9,
9.
yeah.
I would take that right now because they do have some tougher teams coming up as well. So I would take that and take my chances that 84 wins might get you in. This 9 games, I'd rather take my chances and then bank a couple of wins and get hot against some bad teams and go 7-2 or something crazy like 8-1 to where you put yourself ahead of the 8 ball. Now 5-4 the rest of the way. All of a sudden you're at 86 wins, and now it's like, hey, you have.
They need
this
one
last
of those
few days.
one of those runs that Detroit had last year in September.
They need one of the. They went 17-4 in April this year. They need something like that.
I will say this,
Say
because
it.
some of the teams are chasing. Luckily for KC, they're at home for against the Rangers. 4 games set against the Rangers. That's a great opportunity at home. You have 3 games against Seattle at home. 3 games against Toronto, whichever team I think doesn't.
Yeah.
At home. I will say you play Cleveland 4 games on the road. That's not ideal, but hopefully they falter by then. Bailey falter by then. But again, I think that Seattle, Toronto, and 4 games against the Rangers, all at home, that does bode fairly well for KC and the teams they're chasing.
I mean, if you think that they have a home field advantage.
They had one for a while, then they lost it for much of the middle of the season. Gotten better at it since the break.
I mean, it's better to play them at home than on the road.
Yeah, I mean,
although they did take 2 of 3 from Toronto on the road. So
they are 28 of 28 at home and 29 and 30 on the road.
It's nice if you face off against the teams head to head because obviously that's a direct game in the standings. Great, that's awesome. But again, they don't ask you how; they ask you how many. So if they get to 88 wins and lose a number of these games versus the teams they're directly behind, and 88 gets them in, that's fine. It's just a matter of you have to take you've put yourself in a position now because you didn't play good baseball in June.
Mm-hmm.
June was such a bad stretch. You've put yourself in position to where 5-4 the rest of the way doesn't get it done. 5-4 the rest of the way gets you to 83 wins, and now you're 83 and 79, and that's not going to be good enough. And now you've got to play better baseball, which they have. They have played better baseball since July 1st. Not even since the All-Star break or the trade deadline. They've played much better baseball since July 1st.
10 in July? Was that the record?
They were 17-10, so 20 and 13.
13, yeah.
20 and 13
Since
well, I
July
guess
1.
that wouldn't be. Yeah, since July 1,
Yeah,
because
since
we're
July
at
1.
August 8th. So something along those lines. So they've played much better baseball.
So you're 7 games over there in that 33 game stretch. I think 7 or 8 is doable, obviously, in the 38 game stretch after these 6.
After these 6.
So hopefully you're up 3,
Yeah.
maybe 4 more, and then that's 11 more games.
So now you're
And
talking
then you're
about
86 and 76,
Yeah,
or
now-
87 wins. something
Now
like
the
that.
last week of the season, you're scoreboard watching like crazy, and everybody thinks Q should be fired or given a raise based on every single game that week, every single
Give him
inning,
a raise
every
for
single
the
move.
leadoff move the other night.
Right?
And then fire him for pulling Burgert.
Yes. So you pulled Burgert, you should be fired. You moved the lineup around, put Yaz at 1 and Indy at 7, and it worked. So clearly a raise.
I'm done complaining about that. That's just what he is and what a lot of managers are, but it just doesn't work a whole lot. Or
Zerpa's just got to come through, though. I mean, Zerpa's got to do his job. Schreiber's got to do his job.
If you know that that's Zerpa and Schreiber coming out there at some point, like, well, they're not going to do their job, and this guy's been dominant here. Maybe I ride him for another out.
That was my thought as well. I was so sick of it's lefty-lefty. Burgert's been better against lefties than righties.
But Wilyer Abreu smashes righties.
Okay.
I mean,
but
his splits are better than Burgert. Like, Wilyer Abreu splits lefty-righty is better than Burgert splits lefty-righty.
What had he done that day, though?
My point was...
That's my deal.
My point was...
He's feeling it. And I'm like, here's a cocktail of relievers. I'm hoping one doesn't blow it.
Because Burgert had a sweeper-slider combo that was absolutely electric that day. It was riding in on the hands of lefties. And again, Zerpa has proven time and time again. And Schreiber I had less of an issue with because Schreiber actually had pitched very, very well the majority of the season. But Zerpa is maybe the most inconsistent bullpen arm. Going to him in that moment was
and look,
frustrating.
there were bloop hits there, right? The one to right field was... I mean, bad jump, bad luck, whatever it was. It's not like they got smashed. And so that was part of my take on the Red Sox. They're just kind of running hot right now.
It happens.
And those first couple games felt like the Royals were kind of snake bit against a hot team. But yeah, I don't think I would stop punishing starters for a walk with 2 outs in the sixth inning.
I just don't know anything about Burgert. Like, again,
right.
It may be to where...
And you look back, he was right. He was like, that's the most pitches he's thrown.
Most innings, most pitches. It may be a year from now we go, oh, God, Burgert walked a guy, get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out. This guy here comes the blow-up inning. We've seen this too often. You got to get him out now. And the Royals are also trying to figure him out. And Wilyer Abreu this year against right-handed pitchers, he's got 19 of his 20 home runs against righties. He's OPSing at 680 against lefties with only 5 extra base hits this year. So Zerpa...
And that's what he's looking at. But I mean...
But it's kind of a personnel issue, too. It's like, well, I need to go lefty-lefty here, and Zerpa's the guy I go to, not... Well, we thought Daniel Lynch at a time was going to be a guy that was going to pitch high leverage, and then all of a sudden he couldn't command the pitches. And Zerpa was awesome at this time last year. It's a little bit of a personnel to where your lefty is Zerpa, and it's not somebody else that you can trust. It's not Matt Strom.
It's got to be more than just numbers, right? You have to have that baseball kind of instinct and the hunch and knowing guys and kind of what they have that day and realizing maybe this guy has it, maybe this guy doesn't have it, where it seems like Q is much more skewed to just, okay, here are the matchups, here are the numbers.
I would also point out, you're right with Daniel Lynch. The ERA looks great, but I think if you've watched all the games this year, Lynch is someone that you're not super comfy with.
No.
When he comes to the game, you want to at least give him a clean inning because he does walk some guys. He is pretty darn wild. He's not getting a lot of strikeouts. You obviously don't trust Sam Long. No. I actually thought in that moment that
had he gone to Sam Long, then I'm like, okay, does he need to be fired on the spot?
Yeah, that would be perplexing. But I'll also point out, part of me wonders. And I am more analytical than I think most. I've agreed with a lot of what Q has done this year. I think that he gets a bad rap at times for guys not coming through. And yes, Zerpa totally could have came through, and this is a non-starter. But if you think that's a massive inning in a massive situation right there, why not go to your fireman and Lucas Erceg? I know it's righty, but if you're that concerned, isn't that Lucas's job? You don't care if it's lefty or righty. He's your best reliever. He's the guy you turn to.
I think. I mean, in that case, Zerpa turned it into a fire inning. Yeah. I mean, it was 2 outs and a walk. You should, almost anybody should be able to come in and get that out, including the guy who's been pitching.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, the issue with Zerpa was that if he was missing, it would have been better for him to not miss middle. Because he was missing over the plate. Wilyer Abreu's double was middle. Trevor Story's single was damn near middle. That's and those are fastballs. Like, that's not going to be anything but hit hard. So I think if the rule of you have to throw to 3 batters wasn't there, and you saw a couple middles to Wilyer Abreu, and now there's second and third with 2 outs and Trevor Story coming up, then I think it's an immediate let's go get somebody else and bring him in. But that's part of the strategy, too, is if you don't get Abreu, now you're lefty versus Trevor Story righty, and you've got, somebody else on base.
Which I've always thought that for the playoffs, I wish you know how they take the ghost runner away for extra innings in the playoffs? I wish they took the batter minimum away in the playoffs as well. I get it for the regular season because it adds a long time.
I'd be fine with that. Bring back the loogies. Then there'd be a lot of loogie trades.
Yeah,
a lot of trades for loogies there.
I would love that. And hell, is Andrew Miller still around? Can you get him for at 45 years old? Can Andrew Miller come pitch? A guy.
Based on hindsight, knowing what Zerpa did, I would have liked to see Andrew Miller in that position right now.
He's a pitching coach somewhere, isn't he?
That's fine. So he's around. Okay. So he's available.
Yeah, he's available.
So he's somewhere. Okay.
But
so he's wearing a uniform that day. Okay.
I do wonder if it ever goes back to that. Probably not. But I do wish the playoffs at least that the batter minimums for relievers was back to the old ways.
Yeah. So he did eventually get out of it with the line drive to right after 2 runs were scored. Zerpa did. He got the line drive right to Rave. Yeah. Thank you. Or no, that was right to
Grichuk.
Grichuk. Yeah, because Grichuk in right field was it was Grichuk and India.
Yeah.
With the right field where I know that Grichuk got a bad jump, but India sprinting out that far into right field has to peel off. Like if you're facing the wall, running away from the batter, and you're running that fast,
he's gonna peel off when he hears I got it.
But if he can't get there, he's got to peel off because Grichuk can't be running in, getting ready to. But he didn't, and it caused Grichuk to pull up because Jonathan India is now in right field, where I shouldn't have to call it because I'm in right field. If I'm a right fielder coming in on a ball and I've only come in 10 steps, it was a bad jump, but I shouldn't have to call it because this guy is, unless
India
I can see.
He has no idea where he is.
I kind of agree
He
with
has
that.
no idea where the right fielder is.
Yes, and if you
run to a ball till you get called off, and he got called off.
So we don't know if he got called off or called up too late.
Right, but that's somebody.
You heard him say
that's somebody without.
I got it. He peeled off. At that point, he sees India on him, and he pulls up.
Right, because he shouldn't have to call it that deep into right field. That's where
I'm not going to tell my infielders you can't run hard.
Oh, I'm going to tell my infielders.
Those balls.
No, I don't mind the
Bobby Witt too.
I don't mind. No, Bobby Witt actually can go out and make the play. Jonathan India has no baseball instincts defensively. That's the point. I don't mind that.
No baseball instincts.
Have you seen the way he defends?
He's a bad defender,
he's a
but
Major League Baseball player. I think he has a lot of baseball instincts defensively.
I think. Can he slide into a base on a sacrifice bunt? How about those baseball instincts? His feet slide past the base for him to grab it with his left hand on a throw to third on a force out. That's just smart. I want Bobby to go after it because Bobby will get it. I don't mind the hustle. Yeah, like I said this a couple days ago. I'm less annoyed about that because I don't mind the hustle. Hold on. I don't mind the hustle. But that point, you're running that far out into right field, and you can look up, and then, because he looked up twice, saw Grichuk, he's not going to get there. He didn't get there. So if I can't get there, I've got to get out of the way because this guy's sprinting in, and he's going to die.
You don't know if you're going to get there until the last minute.
Yeah.
You have no. We take off running. It's not like I'm gonna get there. I'm not. I'm like
I don't know.
sprinting.
I don't know. He's a Major League Baseball player. You just said that. Like he's a Major League Baseball player. He's going to know if he's going to get there or not. He's going to know if he can get there.
Immediately off the bat.
When you're that far into as many steps as he took sprinting, I think you have an idea if you're going to get there or not.
Baseball,
yeah,
like
exactly.
Yes, I played baseball, which is why the second baseman shouldn't be in right field.
Okay, sorry. He ran too fast and hustled too hard out there and never got
Until
called
you
off
hear
to the
Grichuk,
last.
You've got to peel off.
If
Actually,
Grichuk
I
calls
think
it earlier,
if there's no right fielder there and he dives, I think he does
He
get
does
there.
not catch that.
If he dives, yeah, he could get there.
How about just field a Sunday hop ground
I can't
ball at
believe you're
second?
blaming the second baseman on that play.
As I said, I'm not really that upset about
I feel like
that
you
because
don't
of the
like
hustle.
him. You don't like him. So
I like India a
blame-
lot. I like India a lot.
You like a guy with no baseball instincts?
Yeah, I can still root for him and like him. I can still like the player.
Okay.
great hair.
Great hair.
Does he have to meet certain markers for me? Who should I like? I'm sorry. Should I give you?
Blame the guy who got the bad jump in right field on that one.
Yeah,
if he calls him off earlier, India peels off.
Yeah, it was a bad jump in right field.
Yeah.
Where the ball landed in right field, where Grichuk then pulled up and it hit his glove because he had to pull up because the guy is in front of him, the second baseman.
For getting that far out there. I applaud him.
Yeah. If Bobby's out there, fine, he can catch it.
Ring
I'll
the
give
bell,
Bobby. I'll give
Drake.
Bobby
Ring the bell. Round
what?
2 starts. Come on, Mick and Jason.
yeah,
round
I
2,
just-
pay-per-view. I'm
How
watching
fast
this
do you have
fight.
to be before you tell your guy to hustle?
I actually don't mind that. That's the thing is I don't mind the play that much, but to act like Jonathan India did nothing wrong and he should do that every single time, like I don't mind the hustle mistake. It's a mistake. I don't mind the hustle mistake, but to act like Jonathan India did everything right on that
I
play.
don't think he had a mistake at all in that play.
Yeah, he's in right field. At some point, you know you're not going to get there, so get out of the way so your right fielder doesn't have to little
Guys
league
are in
call
right field
it.
all the time on those plays. It was like no man's
It
land.
wasn't no man's land. Watch it again. It was not. It was in right field. That's my point.
Where the right fielder should have caught it.
Yes, he got a
Okay.
bad jump.
Okay.
We agree with that.
Yeah, I put a period there.
We agree with that. He got a bad jump.
It's also one of the deepest right fields out there, right? So he doesn't know maybe how far he's having to come in on. Maybe he knows Grichuk takes bad jumps, so I'm going to keep getting out there. Maybe I can make that catch.
Wow, somebody that knows all of that. Then apparently, as you said, you don't know if you can catch the ball or not. You just said you don't know if you're going to be able to catch the
So
ball.
he's gonna
But he
hustle
knows
and try to
all
get-
of those
he's gonna
things.
hustle and try to get
He
to
knows everything you just said in the moment. Yet he doesn't know if I can catch the ball or
Jason,
not.
I
How
said
far it's going.
He doesn't know where he is. So that's why he's going to
I
hustle.
can look up. I can see that he's over there. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the ball.
No, you're just
India,
chasing
you're at the ball
India
the
look-
whole time.
You're
not,
just
you're
chasing ball, dude.
Then tell him he looked at Grichuk. I just said he's running to right field. He looks up and looks at Grichuk and looks up. You guys are telling me you only look at the ball. So I guess you don't like how he did it then too, because he did look at Grichuk. So, oh no, you only look at the ball. I played baseball. You look at the ball. No, that's what you guys just said. You said that Jonathan India did it wrong. He looked up at the ball and looked at Grichuk and looked up at the ball and looked at Grichuk.
I
So
didn't
he
say
did it wrong.
looking at Grichuk is wrong.
No,
I
no,
didn't say that.
Sterling, you just said, no, you only look at the ball.
I do. By the way, I don't know. You can't be
You
this angry
only
for
look
eating
at the
Zarda.
ball. You
I'm
only look
too
at the ball.
full. I do look at the ball because if
Okay,
I look
well,
up,
when he looks up and sees the
I'm gonna
ball and
lose
then
the
sees
ball.
Grichuk, then you got to he's sprinting in. I'm not going to get there. As I'm getting closer, I need to peel off because Grichuk is coming in, and Grichuk then sees him and has to call it because the guy's in right field, and then slides and it hits his glove.
I think if he knows he's not going to get there, he's going to stop.
I would
Right on
hope.
it on,
I would hope.
on a ball that's 10 feet farther.
I would hope. Well, then he
Right,
should
he's-
know if he should be there or not.
He was
he should
really
know if he can
close
get
to
there.
that ball.
He should know if he
Otherwise,
can get there.
otherwise they
yeah,
were really
if
close.
Grichuk
know
wasn't
if he can
there,
get there.
I do think there is a 50-50 shot of him catching.
My
that.
point is, it wasn't no man's land, though. There wasn't like one of those that we typically see that's just like unfortunate.
What
That
do we wanna-
was
what do we want to fight about
right
next?
field.
That was fun. I like
Well,
arguing.
I mean, I would say if it wasn't no man's land, it was right field
Yeah.
on the right fielder.
Yes, I agree. We agree. Grichuk
Yeah.
got a bad jump. My point is also the second baseman then needs to know how far I can go before I got to get out of the way.
He was almost saving Grichuk on his bad jump. I applaud.
Actually,
I applaud him.
Grichuk would have caught it with the bad jump if he didn't stop and look at
Maybe.
India and pull his body back because India was about to hit him.
Well, because he said, I got it at the very last minute.
Because he had to, because all of a sudden he sees that India's in right field.
I don't think it's ever coached that way. I really don't.
Who's on first?
I think they tell guys to run at it till somebody says it. You hear it, you peel off.
The outfielder has the ball until you see the name on the back of the jersey of the infielder. The infielder turns and he can camp under it at his ball. If he's running to you, that is your ball. While you're running in and he's running directly
And
at you,
call
it is the
And
outfielder's
he should
ball.
have called it earlier. If
If he-
India knows,
You
should
said Randall,
know,
Randall,
then
Randall.
Grichuk should know
If it
way
was-
earlier that he was going to catch it.
No, he got a bad jump. But if it was in no man's land, I would say then Grichuk can call it. The fact that it's so far out in right field that India sprinted that far and still didn't get it, you're out of position.
The fact that the Drake didn't play Benny Hill music during this entire thing, just yakety sax, really missed opportunity there.
But what we can agree on is that it's actually Quattro's fault, right?
Fire his ass.
He's got to go. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, the Drake, Mick Schaefer hanging out with you. Tex says, take your shirts off and hug, guys. Come on. Hug it out, bros.
Did they see that?
Yes,
we
they did.
We all agreed that it was Pasquantino's fault.
Yes.
We
came to an agreement in the break. Mick and I talked it out, and we said, actually, that wouldn't have happened if MJ Melendez were out there.
So I walked back in, and they kissed and made up.
Yeah, it's absolutely, yes.
There's only one person in this room that takes his shirt off voluntarily, and that's Sterling.
Tex says, get the smelling salts out again. Maybe we had those. Maybe that's what that was. It's still the carryover. It's the remnants of Wednesday's smelling salt segment that took place. No, but we did come to common ground. Mick and I, we did talk in the break, and we both said, you know what? The first time those guys have really had that play, both of them sort of not knowing what the other guy did, probably the next time that happens, they'll play it different. And if India was running out and it was Isbell running in, India may go, Isbell's going to get that. I'm going to peel off because Isbell has a history of doing that. Grichuk, India, it's the first play they have ever had together like that. The other doesn't know the other. So we did come to common ground there. And then we also said fire Q. So
they were both upset that Q had pulled the starter.
That's right.
And they were slumped over. They were out of position.
Schreiber again.
They weren't on the balls of their feet.
We could have won this game if it wasn't for Q. Randall, see what I'm saying? I told you about this. When you came over, the first thing I said, we're going to try to win in spite of this guy. Got a Q for him. Do you know what you're doing? But he doesn't know the answer to it. He doesn't even know that answer. Mick Schaefer is still hanging out with us because he's a good guy. That's great.
Yeah.
Because we brought him food.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. We did bring him food.
You fed me and I fed my dog. I was like,
yes.
I'm like your dog.
Because it's your dog.
I was sitting like a good boy and you brought me food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what I really expected.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs water, Jason.
I really expected Mick and I to have, and Sterling and I to have a real heated discussion about India or Grichuk.
I'm just
on a pop fly.
Random play.
In a game they lost by 5. Hanging out on a Friday edition. Tex says, does Jason have a case of the Mondays on a Friday? No, not at all. But I will say the next time we have big barbecue in, we're going to do that at 1 o'clock. Because at 2 o'clock his show's going to be over.
Hey, Mick, anyone ever at 41 say, do you have a case of the Mondays?
No. I'd say
I believe get your ass kicked, something like that. Chiefs and Cardinals tomorrow, Mick. What are you looking for? Do you watch it a little more closely for individual things tomorrow? Anybody that you're going to be looking for?
6 plays of Mahomes. I'm going to. No, we did over under at the station. I said, what did I say? I think I said 8 plays.
8 plays over under.
Yeah, I said Mahomes gonna play 8.
It is so under. It is obvious. Just joking.
Now I'm on your side.
Thank
under.
You. Yeah.
You.
Oh my God.
I
Thank
think
you,
you're gonna
Sterling.
have a
Tag team. Go.
Good long first drive, and that's
going
gonna be it.
I really hope. I hope it's because they had 6 against Jacksonville. They got a first down, and so they had 6 plays and then punted. I mean, 15-play drive. Because it's only going to be one.
I honestly, I don't.
Unless it's like a 3 and out, then they may get 2.
I know we hope and pray that this is going to be a brand new Chiefs offense. I don't think it's gonna. I think this team's going to be very similar to the team they had before, and that's a good thing for the most part.
You're so wrong.
I hope.
This offense is going to be explosive. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be fun.
And if it's not, it's probably on Jonathan India. You think it's India's fault if it's
I think
not?
It's Grichuk's fault, probably.
It's got to be. Easily.
Bad jump.
Quattrero.
I think they're going to win a ton of close games, and they're going to frustrate fans because they won't put teams away.
That's what they do, though.
And this team is still in we're going to drive the ball down the field, possess the ball, chew clock type of team.
Can I give you a counterpoint?
Yes.
My counterpoint is I think it looks like that if Rice is suspended the first 4-6 weeks. Yeah. I think if Rice is there, I think this offense looks completely different.
I wanted to make that argument, but then I went back and looked at the offense for
the first couple
games last year, and it was actually worse barely than the next 13
But hear me
games.
out. There was no Hollywood Brown.
Is there a Hollywood Brown
There was we assume he's going to be week 1.
Yeah.
No Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy was not Xavier Worthy. He was not getting the run. He was not the guy that's developed. So I think you have the second year of Xavier Worthy. You have Hollywood Brown, who will be back and healthy, hopefully. And then eventually when Rashee Rice is there, those three guys open up his offense in a completely different light. I think you will see a rejuvenated Travis Kelce. I'm not saying a 1,200-yard Travis Kelce, but a more in line with the yak we have seen traditionally from Travis Kelce versus last year, which was a massive outlier.
I think your first point could happen. I don't know about that.
I also think that the left tackle spot is going to be a huge difference too. I think we're glossing over a little bit when we talk about the offense last year. It was bad.
He hasn't played a game yet, bud.
I know he hasn't.
He has not played a game. And remember,
and maybe I'm too optimistic.
You are. Kingsley looked fine in the preseason last year. Why? Because nobody game plans. Nobody game plans. They do in week one, and what do you do when you game plan? You find the weakest link, and you exploit it, and that's what happened at left tackle.
I guess for me, where I'm coming from too is I'm sometimes optimistic in certain things. Sometimes I'm pessimistic in certain things sports-related, but to me, the Chiefs have earned the benefit of my optimism, considering what they've done.
I'm not saying it's a bad. This team doing what it did last year offensively still won 15 games.
Right.
And maybe I'm looking too much as the Chiefs were blown out of the Super Bowl in the final few plays, and the one obviously to Xavier Worthy is the one that stands out. I just think you're going to see a Patrick who's not going to necessarily throw into tight coverage, but I think we'll see the receivers get open more. The left side will hold up better overall than it did last year, just left tackle specifically. Of course.
One thing
Joe Tooney on that left side.
Yeah, one thing I do.
I
think,
tried to left tackle specifically.
One thing I do think we will see more that we will see that was missing after Rashee Rice went out is they didn't have a player that was just a snap, quick slant, and boom, that guy catches it, picks up 15 more yards. Like
Correct.
That was money with Rashee Rice. It was like, good God, this guy, he was leading in receptions because they just kept throwing him the ball. Boom, throw the ball, and he was a running back in open field. He was breaking tackles on safeties and beating cornerbacks, and it was like, well, okay, this is going to be what they do. This is the underneath with Travis Kelce, and this is going to be open because Xavier Worthy is going to take the top off. And look, they gave Xavier Worthy the ball around the end. He got a 35-yard touchdown. You know, he got a rushing touchdown as well. Like Xavier Worthy's a new gadget, and all they were doing is just quick hitting Rashee Rice for 15 yards. Like, okay, this offense has different answers. We'll see that more often with Rashee Rice out there. That was lacking, needed, and nobody that could really step up and play that. And maybe if Rashee Rice is missing, maybe Jalen Royals comes along and can do at least that as a bigger guy. But I'm not counting on really anything from Jalen Royals. I just if these guys ever get to play a game together, Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown, more than one snap, that'd be great. I'd like to see what Rashee, Hollywood, Xavier Worthy, and Kelce would look like on the field at the same time. So far, they're averaging 15 yards per play when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
One time.
I love the assessments I've been hearing of, like, this might be Mahomes' best camp so far. And I think if there's any player out there that, because everybody always says they're motivated by last year and the loss and all that stuff, and this, I believe Mahomes when he says it. Most people are just blowing smoke, and whether they believe it or not doesn't always come true. I believe Mahomes stared in the mirror, cut his hair, and said, "Okay, 50 touchdowns this year." And I said that he's the guy, the one guy that could go out and do it.
MVP.
I said I think I have him over 5,000 this year. I don't know about 50 touchdowns, but I have him over 5,000. I think we are going to see the most motivated Petty Patrick we have seen.
I hope so.
He even was talking in regards to Madden, and I know it's a silly thing.
Like to have a higher rating.
Kind of the same thing that you're going off of. Anyone else says that, I don't put any sort of credence to. When Patrick says that and he's like, yeah, I would like to have a higher rate, like, okay, this is a guy who's hold up the numbers to 4 and he
counted to 10.
He when he becomes Petty Patrick, that is the best version of him. That is a guy that don't give a bleep.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah, 2022, he won a Bleep You Tour. 5,000 yards, 40-plus touchdowns, MVP, won the Super Bowl, and I think we're going to see that yet again. It's, I don't know, maybe it's trying to find positives in different places, but I'm with you on the Mahomes camp and what people are saying about how crisp he looks. I think also, you know, we talked to Matt Derrick about this a little bit. Like 2 years ago, Chris Jones sat out training camp. Last year, Chris Jones talked about getting the veteran days off and missing some days because of how tough training camp is, and he'd have to play training camp last year. He hasn't taken a snap off this year. Like, he's in with every single one, and that's been one of the storylines is like the one defense is out there, Chris Jones is out there. Oh, Chris Jones still out there. Chris Jones hasn't taken a snap off yet. The guy was talking about getting days off at practice last year, and he's in there playing every single snap on defense. I don't know. Maybe it amounts to something. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this team will be in the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl again. I don't know. That'd be crazy if they made it that far.
It'd be wild.
It'd be
go against a lot of preseason predictions.
I know, right?
Man.
It would go against recent history if they made it past the divisional round. It'd be crazy. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and we will hear the cuts coming up next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, Friday edition of The Zone, wrapping things up. Program coming up next. Chiefs and Cardinals tomorrow. Mick Schaefer hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and cut it up. Shall we get the cuts? Whatever happened this week.
I heard a great one yesterday.
Did you really?
I think it was on the program.
Okay. Well, we'll
but
see
I
if
can't
it made
remember
it.
what it was.
Oh,
We'll see
cool.
what-
That helps.
It'll
Yeah.
trigger my memory.
It'll
if it
happen
happens, yes.
eventually. Let's cut it up. What happened, Drake? Yep.
Jason opens it.
Right for it. Oh, that was you. Why did you put it so close to your nose?
He's
never done it before. Oh my
He's on the ground.
He shoved his nose right
He shoved his
in
nose
that thing.
right in it.
Oh
he.
my God.
We have a little angle
How many
of the
warnings did you
table
need?
that
Right?
sits out. He fell over the top of it.
When does it wear off?
It should be gone by now, Jason.
It's in my brain.
Yeah. Oh my! He just dove right in.
Yeah, he got in there.
I've never done it before.
Exactly. Well,
Why'd you go
don't be
first?
so aggressive.
Why did you want to go first?
Man, you okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna go 8 hours today now.
Well, that's some people like that. I don't know. Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I told
yeah.
you to have the dump button ready because I told.
I didn't say anything.
No, I know, but audible noises.
It's good. That's all you did?
Yeah,
That's all you did?
That's all you're supposed to do.
Dude, I just did 3 lines of smelling salts. You just got near it. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
he's got a.
Oh man, I got the drippage going on now.
Ooh, baby. You got it. It'll get you.
Oh, baby girl.
Like baby girl.
2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Woo! Woo!
Oh man, that. Oh.
God, now I know
Wait.
why they banned them.
Are
Those
you,
things should not
are
be
you
allowed.
like 19 or something?
Yeah.
Because this would be a saltine. Oh boy.
See how you sound?
Opens it.
Yeah, I dove right in. I didn't know. I didn't know.
If you didn't hear it earlier, before Bailey Falter, who was the last starting pitcher to give up 7 runs in his Royals debut. We all remember Brian Ricard back in 2002. So much has been written about him in Royals history that how could you not know Brian Ricard in 2002? Not really.
I do remember him. Where did
Yeah,
they get
that's-
him? Did he come from the Mets?
I looked this up last night.
Feels kind of Metsy.
Feels like Omaha.
Sam McDowell with a nice drop
See
in.
how he says he met with an editor? You think he called me, hey, Pete, you want to edit my book, collaborate?
I don't know if you
No.
want to get involved with this.
No.
I wouldn't suck you into this.
No, this process.
Jake's book.
You want to edit a book about 12 principles of how to live principled life based on a lot of unprincipled living?
How did you turn that into a children's book? I think that's
Actually, scratch and sniff.
fascinating.
Wait for the Netflix series.
This,
Oh. The best part was after that. Darn it. He said it smells like bourbon and cocaine.
I would have guessed Miguel Asensio or Eduardo
Villacis. Yeah.
who pitched like Villacis.
That he did.
on
that he did.
that. Those guys were after Ricard.
I would have felt
Crazy.
like Vin Mazzaro or something like that.
I've never heard of Ricard, but it does sound like he was from Omaha. That's exactly what it sounds like. McDowell got that one right. All right. Well, everybody enjoy the weekend. Mick, enjoy your weekend, man.
If I have to, I'm working. KSHB preseason game on Saturday night.
What time's the pregame?
6 o'clock. Be there.
What time's the postgame?
Right after post.
No, I want to
game.
know when the game's over, so I know.
It'll get over at 9:58.
Get ready for mean emails, Mick.